All right, everybody, welcome to Underground Crypto. Got another great show for you. We're going to do that deep dive and review thing that we do here at Underground Crypto. Let me pull up the crypto bubbles. Crypto bubbles on the daily to me is just such a good way to kind of get a feel for where the market's at. Mic check coming in. Watchman 24, what's up, man? All right, mic check is good. What's up, Watchman? I appreciate you being here right on the cuff, right from the takeoff. And we're looking at crypto bubbles. And I was saying crypto bubbles on the daily, a great way to look at what the market's doing, right? So we got Aster up another 17.9%. ETH.Fi, let's click on that one. ETH.Fi, that's been around. Aether, definitely been around. And we're going to look at everything that's trending, so have no fear. If you want to know more about what these are, Zcash, that's an old one. Very surprised to see it pumping. Why is it pumping? Immutable X, Quant, XRP, SPX 6900, Near, Wild, Pith, all good stuff. So Bitcoin decided that it wanted to play ball and stop dumping on us. So I'm very glad for that. Nilo, I haven't seen you in a day or two. Appreciate you being here. Anybody watch the video I just put out by chance? If you haven't, I highly suggest you watch it. I spent way too much time editing that video, and I kind of hopefully didn't edit it to death. But let me know what you guys think of it in the comments on that video. And let's move on. So the Fear and Greed Index, 44, and we've been stacking it up against Crypto Rank, and its Fear and Greed Index is also 44. This is the reason why I bring this one up is because it's the one my mentor always uses, is the one I'm used to seeing, and I just want to make sure, and we've been doing it for well over a week now, that the one on Crypto Rank is the same, and so far every day they've been exactly the same. So at some point in the next day or two, I'll probably cut off pulling this one up and we'll just go straight to Crypto Rank, right? Crypto Maniac says, yes, I did. And Watchman said, I'll check it out after the stream. I greatly appreciate that. Crypto Maniac, can you give me your honest opinion on the video? Was it good? Was it not good? Was it over edited? Do you think I went too fast? And if you don't have an opinion, that's fine too. You know, I ain't trying to put you on the spot. Just definitely wanted to get some feedback on that. All right, we'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. And then we will look at CoinGecko. So yesterday, I mean, we went down almost to like 110,000 for BTC. So I'm glad to see that it's playing ball. Bitcoin at 113,356. Not too shabby for where we were just at. Are we going to continue to pump? Is it a dead cat bounce, as they would say? Well, everybody knows in hindsight, right? Cryptomaniac says, it was good, man. Looking forward to the second part. Thank you. I will be working on the second part probably after the stream. That's where I'm going to get into a little bit more about the actual token and stuff like that. And, you know, just to be completely transparent, there is not a ton of information about the token. I probably should make you wait to watch the video, but you guys are here every day. I'm not trying to gatekeep like that. That's almost weird. Ethereum, 4,155, holding above that $4,000 price mark. I really love to see that. XRP, $2.93. BNB, $1,018. BNB over 1,000, man. I should have held a lot of that BNB that I had, huh? I remember buying BNB when it was like $180 a coin. Or less, honestly, probably less than that, because I've used it to do the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem several times. Solana, still above 200. Dogecoin kicking back up. I hated to see Dogecoin falling. We had made so much progress so fast, and it took a dump. So I'm glad to see it back up a little bit to 24 cents. Cardano, 81 cents. Chainlink, $21.63. Hyperliquid, $45.69. SWI, $3.36. Nilo says, that's crazy. Sold all mine under 75. Yeah, I feel you. I've been using BNB for quite some time. Not as much lately, but yeah. If we all just would have held our BNB, we would be much wealthier, right? So how's everybody feeling tonight? Anybody have any decentralized exchange coins? Anybody get MYX, Avantis, Aster, Aevo, or Aevo? Not sure how I'm supposed to say it, but I like saying it Aevo. I didn't buy any. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't buy any of those coins. The lifers have been swing trading the heck out of that coin, or day trading, whatever you want to call it. And I just never really got in. I was tied up in all my trading money was tied up in Bitcoin. When it took the dump, I was messing around and had some of my money in trades that I absolutely knew better not to. And I said to myself that I should get out of that trade so many times, and I would have lost a lot less. But all in all, I only lost like $100, so no big deal. Crypto Maniac says, I have Avantis, however you want to say it. That's cool. I didn't either, not chasing the pumps. Yeah, I've learned not to really chase a lot of those pumps. A lot of times I get tied up in them. Sometimes they continue to pump day after day, but a lot of times they'll pump real heavy and then you'll see them. You'll jump into them. This is just my personal experience, not advice. And yeah, then the next thing you know, they're dumping on everybody who jumped in. Watchman says, Seen Futures, a DeFi coin. Sign Futures? Cryptomaniac says, did a swing trade last week on Avant and made $1,500. Good for you, man. I'm glad to hear that. I love that we have lifers in the house. Way before I started this channel, I know I'm talking a little bit. We're going to get to what's trending here. But way before I started this channel, I was a lifer. I've spent tons of time on the lifer channel. I didn't comment as much back then and stuff like that. And man, do I really love the lifer community. So rebought this morning and it's going well. Yeah, Sam has a trade out in the trading group. Cryptomaniac, are you in the paid trading group? Let me hit a drink real quick before we kind of take off here. And shout out to anybody who's here. If this is your first time on the stream, drop a comment. Don't be shy. Let us know you're here. I love to see new people in the chat. Let us know if you caught some of these pumps or if you're just kind of lurking and looking for the next one. So, of course, Aster. Aster doesn't even have a 7-day percentage, right? Has this thing even been out for 7 days? Now, mind you, it was a rebrand from APX. And usually when a coin rebrands, the coin that they were before doesn't get a lot of news or action or anything. Thought it was weird that I seen a lot of people kind of mentioning APX, saying it was up like over 100% or more. And it was kind of odd. Watchman says, Send Futures is a DeFi coin I found. All right, brother. I will definitely look at it, Watchman. Have no fear. I did see it, but I don't mind you putting it more than one time just to make sure I see it. That doesn't bother me at all. So let's see max chart. September 18th, and today is the 24th. And it already has $3.8 billion in its market cap. How much farther can this thing run? How much more money is there for it to be dumped in this market cap? I have no idea. The tokenomics say 8 billion tokens with 1.6 billion in circulating supply. So there is a ton of coins coming out into circulating supply. Cryptomaniac says, I was for a year. I got out a few months ago. I'll be back in the group. I took some time off to focus on other things. Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you on that one. I've never left and gone back in, but I have taken many months off of trading, most of the time after big losses, doing things as a degenerate that I definitely knew better to do, and I did them anyways. Sometimes the market's real frothy, and it's like, you know, I had a good amount of money, and I was trading with a very small amount of money, and so high leverage, but my liquidations were so low that I would just wait for I'd wait to be up and I'd take profits, and then I'd let it dip a little bit and I'd hop right back in and I'd just rinse and repeat and do it. And that's the most money I ever made in a week trading. And then the market turned around and just totally dived on me, and I couldn't let it go. I couldn't cut it off. I didn't want to lose the few $100 at first, and then I didn't want to lose the $1,000. It'll bounce, and the next thing you know, I was nearing my liquidation. Ended up cutting it off, but for way too much money. Anyways, I feel you on that one. Wasn't trading much, just started back up a little bit. Hey, life is busy. All right, so let's get back to Aster, right? We know it's a decentralized exchange. I'm not going to go over it in detail right this second, because we're going to be going over quite a bit of these exchanges, and we'll do it kind of all at one time. That way we can really compare them. What I really want to look at are coins that are maybe not in the loop as we're looking for what's trending. So here's Bless. We did look at Bless yesterday. Any thoughts on Xseller coin drops in 5 days? Well, we'll start writing them down. Matter of fact, let me get my notepad. Don't worry, it's never really far off here. And I did have a couple, or at least one coin that I had already written down. So I'll write down that one, and I'll write down the one that somebody else was asking for. I believe it was Watchmen. Yeah, so I'll write that one down. What is it? Sin Futures. We'll see what we can find about that, Watchmen. And then Xseller, I believe we talked about it before. I don't remember if I really went over it. I probably did. Cool. All right, so here's Bless. We'll do our due diligence on our what's trending real quick. Bless at $96.4 million in market cap. Max Chart says it's been out since yesterday, September 23rd. I do remember going over this yesterday. 10 billion in its max supply, only 1.8 in its circulating supply. So again, another new coin with a ton of tokens to come out. Xseller sketches me out. All right, well, we'll definitely take a look at it. To be honest, a lot of coins sketch me out. A lot of coins sketch me out. That's for sure. It's got a Binance Smart Chain contract, Solana contract. This is Bless. It says DPIN. It's got the Binance Alpha Spotlight. It's new. It's under $1 billion. I mean, it's under 100 million, really. Could we see this thing run? I don't know. There's a good chance. It definitely reminds me of another project called Grass. And there are several of these ideas right now where to solve the issue of AI and AI infrastructure, it's going to be very hard to build huge warehouses, very expensive, especially for a startup or something like that. And so their whole idea is, let's just get everybody to donate their, GPU power, memory, whatever, and we'll pull it all together and make like a shared computer, the world's first shared computer. That's literally what it says. I wasn't even reading it. And so this is a very popular idea. So they have a program and it runs and it collects, and they swear that they're private and they're not going to take any data. Avant is moving. Nice. So the next supercomputer will be one machine shared. And they have one machine crossed out, obviously. The website looks nice. I do definitely judge it on its website. How it works. So you would install the extension, very much like Grass. Get started with Bless. It's easy. Run a desktop, quick start installer, then add the extension. Data collection is a opt-in only if you decide nothing is collected, and we're taking their word for that. Share your idle resources. All you need is a stable internet connection. Bless matches your device and preference with computing tasks, trustless transparency, and verifiability, and accrue time. Bless tracks your uptime. More uptime means more workload supported, and more workload means more rewards. The shared computer for work, or AI, or play, research, everyone. So it says turn any device, laptop, desktops, phones, and tablets into a source of income. Share your device's idle compute with Bless and earn yields in return. There's no special hardware or setup required. Anyone can run a node and get paid for helping to power the network. And I got to do a little bit of an update on Grass and see if they're ever going to give me some rewards. I've been running it long enough. If they're not giving me any actual rewards that have a monetary value, I may ditch it and switch to Bless. With all these different projects, I don't know how many of them you really want running at the same time. That could get really weird, right? All right. So we covered what it is. It's the world's shared computer. So hopefully everybody has that in their mind. And it is DePIN. It is decentralized infrastructure. Hopefully you're kind of categorizing these projects as they come out. Now, we spent a lot of time looking at different categories. As new coins come out, we can kind of put them into different category. Stable came out a while ago. I remember kind of when it came out. It was September 16th, 2025. It already has $285.3 million in its market cap, 10 billion max supply, and the circulating supply is only 500 million. Another new coin with barely any tokens out in the circulating supply. Is that a problem? Well, one of these days, I think I'm going to do a stream on just tokenomics. I think that would be a really good stream. That'll be a good category. I guess tokenomics not really a category. It's a good crypto IQ raising adventure that we could go on, talking about tokenomics and really breaking it down for everybody who's here, so everybody has a solid understanding of what tokenomics are and why it's so important. But that'll be for another day. So BNB Smart Chain contract address. We got decentralized finance, so DeFi, stablecoin issuer. And why is this important? On my channel, I have a video I made about the Genius Act when it was made an act, went from a bill to an act. And anybody who doesn't really understand why stablecoin issuer is important should go watch that video. It's a pre-recorded video. It's not very long. And it's really just about what was accomplished in that. And it's also very much about who's allowed to issue stablecoins and who's not. So Binance Alpha Spotlight, things that have been, notice that a lot of the things that we're looking at right now are all Binance Alpha Spotlight. I need to get over there and see what all they got going. So Reef says, what's up? What's up, Reef? I don't know if I've seen you here before. I appreciate you stopping in the chat and saying something. Grass, Node AI, Pi, Bloom, Ton, and Ton ecosystem are fed on engagement and bandwidth sharing. Yes, very true. I appreciate you saying that. Trying to think of, when you said Bloom, did you mean Plume? Or is Bloom a different project? I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was a different project. And what is stable? Stable is very much about stable coins. It says reimagining stable coins, keep your principal, use your principal, keep your interest. I'll say it how I want to say it, right? Anyways, here's their team. Look like real people. Now, they could lie to us, but they're doing better than most projects. Most projects, their team is a bunch of NFTs, and they might as well just not at all dox who they are. And so, of course, there's a place for stable coins. Doesn't get me excited. Stable coins do not get me excited. I just got to say that. That doesn't make me excited at all. And then stable coin, really, this is what kind of confuses me about stable coin, or this project, stable coin, not stable coins in general, is that it has like a real price. It's at 58 cents. When you want a stable coin to be at $1 or stable, it could be at any price point. Really, it could be 10 cents. It wouldn't matter. But I would want it to be stable. Of course, I love when it goes up. But what about when it goes down? I don't know. I didn't really get that. I've been over the website a couple of times. They've changed it a little bit to put their team on top. They didn't do that before. And, okay. So, a little bit misspoken here. Their stable coin is actually USST. And the other coin is the actual project token. I forget that I did figure that out. Because, yeah, a stable coin that fluctuates is a very crappy stable coin. So USST is their stable coin. But you can stake stable with them for yield, I'm sure. Why do I have to hit the back button so many times? Hemi. Let's talk about Hemi. Hemi is an interesting one. It really aligns with what we talked about yesterday, of course, because it is Bitcoin DeFi. $167.5 million in market cap. Hasn't been out very long, August 29th, 2025. And let's pull up that last 7 days. Went from 6 cents to a high of 18 cents. And right now we're chilling at about 17 cents, really. Very high 16. Hopium Day says, yo, bro, congrats on over 1K subscribers. Let's go. Yeah, let's go, man. I am excited about it. It's kind of the first thing I need to be monetized. No, I'm not greedy, money hungry to make a bunch of money off of YouTube. I love my community and I love what I do. But if I want to do it more often, making some money would be good, right? I have other businesses and stuff, but I'd like to focus on this and really do this full time over my other businesses, and so I need to get monetized. So now what's next? Watch hours. If you've never built a YouTube channel, just know it's extremely difficult, very rewarding, but I've been doing it well over a year. The streams have definitely helped. I used to do all pre-recorded videos, and I could rant on that for a hot minute. But I will move on. Ethereum contract, HIMI contract. So we know this is a layer 1 BNB smart chain. It's a modular blockchain, another category that I really think I'm going to do a video on, because every day when I go to set up these streams, I kind of need some kind of niche. I need some kind of category to make the branding around the stream and stuff. If I could every day just say deep dive with a picture of my face, you know what I mean, and some crypto coins. But I just feel like it's a lot less engaging, and for people who've already watched, what keeps them coming back? I want to raise that crypto IQ. I feel like that would really be the very lazy way to do it, and I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to be, some quality for you guys. So let's go to their website. And I had a lot of fun yesterday with Bitcoin DeFi. It definitely was a little techie. That's to be expected. Like when we do AI, it's going to be techie. The talk and the language on all the different websites are going to be techie. And a lot of times they're going to be saying a lot of the same stuff. If you can get past that, you can learn a lot. Bufflink says, I hit the like button. Have you? That's a great question. Everybody should ask themselves. But we got some great people in here. I'm sure they have hit the like button. The world's largest Bitcoin programmable layer. And we literally looked at this yesterday. And what is HIMI at? 167.5 million. Man, I really wish I could get a gauge on how well Bitcoin DeFi as a narrative is doing. Because a lot of times I can gauge it really well. But because Bitcoin DeFi has gone up and down and up and down, I see projects come out. Some of them do okay. Most of them don't. And eventually the pump, the rally, the excitement always seems to fizzle out on them earlier than you would think. I mean, look how long Avantis and MYX and Aster, decentralized perpetual exchange derivatives, has been pumping in a hot narrative. It's been a minute. Every time I've seen Bitcoin DeFi, I was going to say DeFi Bitcoin, either way, pump as a narrative and stuff, it hasn't even lasted as long as these coins. And if it were to stop today, I would still consider it a pretty short rally, right? So 90 plus protocols building on HIMI rails. So this is infrastructure. This is Bitcoin DeFi. I don't even know if I looked at the tags. Smart contract. Yeah, modular blockchain. We did look at this. Bitcoin DeFi protocol, or Bitcoin Fi. So Pi network to the moon. SHN. That's what it was, okay? Probably not saying that right, but either way, I appreciate you hopping in here. STX dropped to 0 fast. Yeah. And Bufflink, did you get into STX way earlier? Was that like last cycle or something like that? And Bufflink says, what's your favorite DEX to use? Everybody could really answer that question. Go ahead, throw it in there. What's your favorite DEX to use? Probably like Pancake Swap or something like that. The more ones that I would be used to using. There's DEXs, and then I guess Pancake Swap is more of a swap. But I mean, it's an exchange for sure. Here I am knocking everything over. Reef says, hold on, let me fix it. What is going on? I messed everything up. All right. Reef says, like ordinals, big hype, and then a fizzle. Yeah. Yeah, ordinals is another one. I think it's just because it's hard for regular retail to really wrap their mind around what it is and what's happening, and they just don't get as excited. Where with the decentralized exchanges, I don't know, there's probably a lot of big money behind that with big capital, venture capital investors that move that thing. And that's really my theory. Let me back up and say it again. My theory is a lot of times big money comes in and they put in, and the movement in the market of whatever the coin is, how much it's up, is so big that retail comes running, kind of regardless of what it is. And I just don't feel like big venture capitalists are going hard on Bitcoin DeFi, or ordinals for that matter. But I bet that they all own them over the counter somewhere, right? A lot of times they will do things over the counter. I really should bring up, well, maybe this is not the stream for it, but there are some very interesting things about how they do their orders to make sure that you don't see what's going on. Bufflink says, no, I only bought Welsh meme on stacks, but I'm a big BTC guy. I love Caspa. I'm excited for the ecosystem. Yeah, Caspa, KRC20s, we did a whole show on Caspa and its ecosystem, and it was definitely very new. So, what they promise, we're doing. What they imagine, we've done. What they call the future, we call Hemi. It's a good line. Programmable Bitcoin, super network infrastructure, Bitcoin-powered finality, next-gen BTC-Fi, launch-ready ecosystem, and trustless. Let's see, can I actually click on this? Does this take me anywhere? No, it doesn't. Really wanted to see more about their ecosystem. Oh, they do have an ecosystem tab. Okay. The Hemi virtual machine. And we're going to spend a minute on this because this thing is probably going to be, it's already pumped. It's probably going to continue to pump. I think it's under like $200 million market cap. And it'll probably continue to pump a little bit. Very clean looking website. The Hemi virtual machine, the Hemi VM virtual machine, or HVM for Hemi virtual machine, is a full Bitcoin node wrapped inside a Ethereum virtual machine, the best way to deliver the capabilities of both networks. So they're kind of powering, but bringing Bitcoin and Ethereum together. I think that's probably a good move. And then they have a roadmap. I'm going to go to their ecosystem real quick. Crypto Maniac says, I love Caspa. Yeah, I own a little bit of Caspa. Honestly, price action wise, not tech wise, but price action wise, it's been a little disappointing. Seems like everybody's forgot about Caspa. Are they doing anything to keep people excited? I'm sure they are building. They do have a lot of great tech over there, but hopefully they're going to, get behind some of this marketing. And we did look at this the other day. I mean, Sushi Swap, Pith Network, definitely ones that I recognize. One Delta, Lorenzo. See which ones we recognize here. Portal to Bitcoin. We've been over that several times. And who else? Dodo. Familiar with that. That is a decentralized exchange. Dodo is another one that I've used quite a bit. Plume. Familiar with that. And yeah, they have good projects in their ecosystem. Now, when I look at an ecosystem, I really like to see projects that are specific to the ecosystem. Like, they're not really anywhere else. They could be interoperable, but it's not like a big project that's just ported over. Nothing against that, but I feel like there's real innovation when a project wants to be exclusive. They're betting long term that something exciting is going to happen. Hemi listed on Binance Spot yesterday, and it didn't even pump. That looks bad, question mark. Well, I'm not sure what time it got listed. Any idea what time it got listed? Can you feed us that information, Bufflink? But, I mean, it definitely pumped within the last 7 days. 24 hours. I mean, you've had a little bit of a sell-off, but that's to be expected when you pumped quite a bit. I mean, you're up 200% in the last 7 days. I think that's pretty good gains for 7 days. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know when it got listed. If you could give us that information, we'll double back and look at the exact chart and see what it did. Undead Games. I'm going to skip that one for today. It's a game. Doesn't really align with what we're doing today. And we've just been over it so many times that I'm sure we'll wind up going over it tomorrow. Synthetics, SNX. And Synthetics Network is all about creating synthetics of things that people normally trade on stock markets all over the place, right? So we've got derivatives, exchange-based tokens, decentralized finance, yield farming, synthetic itself, Coinbase's 50 index, governance. Anything else really stick out to me? No, that's pretty much it. And synthetics is not new, I don't think. I definitely don't think it's new. Yeah, so this is the project I was thinking of. March 20th, 2018. So Bufflink says 7:10, I'm assuming AM. Okay. So let's go back and look at that for 1 second and let's see what it did do when it got listed. Maybe it was a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. So let's grab Hemi. And let's go 7-day, I guess. And yesterday was the 23rd. Of course, I am not top notch with the military time, so let's see. Yeah, so 7:10 should be 7, right? That would make some sense to me. So, and then of course it can be different for where it got listed. That's where it gets a little weird. So if we look at this, you know, hour 7 and it's EDT time, whatever the heck that means. I'm not familiar with that. And it went from 13 cents to 17 cents. So I would say it pumped, if I'm lining this up correctly, Bufflink, and I might be, I might not be. And then it immediately dumped. And then it kind of slowly pumped up again to like same place, 17 cents. And then finally topped out at 18 and a half, a little over 18 and a half cents. And then continued to pull back some more. I would say that's probably pretty normal price action, honestly. Let's get back to synthetics. Let's hop into their website real fast. Today we are going to be talking about decentralized exchanges, perpetuals, stuff like that, derivatives, perps on mainnet. Okay. So on-chain custody, off-chain performance, perpetual futures that don't make you choose between security and speed. Again, this is an old project, but I could see why they're riding the hype wagon. This aligns very much with what we're going to be talking about today. So trade perps on mainnet, off-chain order book, multi-collateral margin, and mainnet custody. Let's launch the app. Let's compare it, because this has been around a long time, right? Well, this wasn't what I was expecting. So it's pre-deposit. Is this their app? Like, where's the nice layout? Deposit SUSD or SUSDE to compete for a spot in the mainnet trading competition. So what, this is just about a competition, a whitelist for the competition. I want to see the actual product though. I don't care about that. Where is this going to take us? Back to the website. All right, well that is like majorly disappointing here. And I'm sure they got to have a product somewhere, right? Am I wrong? Home, governance, doc, bug, maybe not. Very interesting. Maybe it's all on mobile app. Did they have a mobile app? A race to mainnet. I mean, this thing has been out for a while, so I don't know why. L1 security. Yeah, I really don't understand what they're doing on this. I should be able to click launch app. It should look very much like a centralized exchange, and it should look like it's ready to be used and competing with all the other things in its category, because it's been out for a really long time. Again, we said 2018. Maybe they just haven't really updated. I don't know. But I'm good on it, personally. Not excited about Synthetic Network. Pangu, we've been over a bunch of time. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid falls right into our category, so I'm sure we'll look at it later. 0G. Definitely worth taking a look at. Hasn't been out very long. And let's see what it's been doing since I did a reel on it. September 22nd, 2025. It's got $1 billion in market cap, a Binance Smart Chain, and Ethereum contract. It is AI, artificial intelligence, didn't even finish my word, infrastructure, smart contract, layer 1, Binance Alpha Spotlight, I think that's a good term, and AI framework. You know what? Binance Alpha Spotlight would probably be a good show as well. My notes could be way more orderly here. All right. So maybe we'll do an Alpha Binance Spotlight. And again, I haven't got to it yet because we've had a lot of good things to go over, but I definitely want to get tokenomics. Who knows about tokenomics or tokenomics? Token metric. That's what I mean. Sorry, I probably have an unreal expectation that a good 100 million market cap project should 10x with a Binance listing. Yeah, it happens sometimes, but you know, you might want to pump your brakes a little bit, Bufflink. That's a little fast. I mean, it happens, but it doesn't happen to everything that gets listed. Now, I remember when getting a Coinbase listing was like a guaranteed mega pump, you know, for most projects. But then the more they started to list all these projects, it wasn't sustainable for it to pump like that, like crazy all the time. So the Zero G Foundation is the steward of decentralized AI as a public good. It's a good narrative for them to set up for all those who are worried about AI. The Zero G Foundation is supported by a global network of contributors who bring deep technical expertise and real-world impact. So the Zero G ecosystem is scaling faster than any AI blockchain to date, with rapid adoption across infrastructure research and partnerships. This seems to be true because it came out swinging and it was growing so fast, already over $1 billion in market cap. Things like things that have to do with AI are definitely pumpers a lot of times, and the website looks good, looks clean, looks very professional. At its core are 4 interoperable layers. I always think this is funny. Chain, data availability, but then storage, and then also storage. It's kind of funny. Decentralized high throughput storage for training, right? Data, proofs, and metadata. AI needs lots of training and data feed. And of course, GPU powered resources for inference, fine tuning, and verifiable machine learning workloads. And that's a little techie. I mean, everybody thinks that, you know, not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody thinks. What I see a lot is that BitTensor, a lot of people think it is going to at some point just be such a mega product and product either way, and it's going to run to Bitcoin prices. I keep hearing little whispers about that, but I've been hearing that for a long time. Very interesting. I don't know if I believe that's going to happen, but I would love to see it. I don't own any. I would like to own some, that's for sure. So Lombard, I just never really got into BitTensor. So Ethereum contract, BNB contract, Bard, we've gone over it a couple of times now. BTC Phi protocol, so we went over it yesterday. It's doing decent. Max chart says September 18th, 2025. Had this nice run up to $1.50 and it's pulled back since. If you know your fib levels, you gotta getting close to that 0.618. Headed maybe to that 786 or 706. Either way, fib retracement is what it looks like. $254.7 million in market cap. And if you don't know what a fib retracement is, don't worry about it. We'll get to that another time. I'm not really teaching TA. Go to Crypto Lifer's channel and he will teach you all about it. So FET, the super AI, I think that's what he meant to say, was really disappointing after the triple merger. Boy, you could say that again. What was it? Ocean, FET, and Singularity Net. Wow, I actually got that off the top of my head. And they made this big merger. They were going to do all of this great AI stuff, and they didn't do nothing. That's how I feel. They did nothing, and it was very disappointing. And then many projects have come out since then. And they could be building something mega, you know, in the background, and we could be totally oblivious to it. Sure, that's possible, but you're really gambling on there. I hold some. I think it's still up. It's on a cold storage wallet, so I don't look at it very often. Probably something I'll just sell when I sell a lot of the stuff at what I hope to be the top of the market. I say I'll sell at the top of the market, but anytime I'm selling, it's because I hope it's the top of the market, right? And with all of this really slow price action, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Bufflink, I got you. I knew what you meant, Super AI. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months, because that's really going to determine how I feel about it being the top of the market or it not. If it's really lackluster, I might start leaning towards there is more of a super cycle, but they might just set you up. They might set you up to believe that, and then we got to get washed in a bear market and wait another 4 years. Man, I'm not looking forward to that. I messed it up on the last bull market, and I am just not going to walk away with no money. It was pretty new, came in right at the beginning of last bull market. Or was it last bull market? Yeah, I guess it was. And, you know, I didn't know about the 4-year cycle, so I thought all these coins were going to go up forever. It was a classic euphorium state. My accounts were up way more than anything I had ever put into it by so much, you know. And just let it go down. It was a great lesson, though. I think it's a lesson everybody has to learn. And if you're here, maybe you just swing trade, maybe you day trade stuff, maybe you don't hold long-term bags, but long-term bags for the longest time were the best way to make some money in this game. All right, so I'm just scanning here, see if there's anything that we don't really know. Layer 0, we haven't gone over in quite some time, but we did a whole stream on layer 0s. Lighter. And Hannah. So 2 coins that are really on my list right now. What is this Plasma? That one might be worth looking at. We'll pull that up. Start researching 4-year staking opportunities. Yeah, you're just talking about staking through the whole bear market. And that's another thing. Yeah, you better be staking where you still custody your coins, like on chain, because if you hand it over, a lot of projects, especially if they're new, cannot handle the bear market, and a lot of them fold and they go down with your money. We've seen it from centralized exchanges to decentralized projects, and then they just disappear. So be careful with that. So 2 projects I'm really watching close. Of course, Lighter. I just did a big video on it. For anybody who didn't know, please go check out the video I did on Lighter, because I spent way too much of my time doing that video. It's crazy when you spend like a ridiculous amount of time doing a video. I mean, probably 6 hours plus. And it's like 7 minutes long. And you're like, nobody would ever understand this if you didn't do video editing. And it's probably because I'm a noob at it and I'm still trying to learn. A lot of it was learning. Anyways, and the other one is Hannah. Hannah is another one I really see doing some things, and both of them aren't out yet. So Hannah Network is another one I'm going to be doing a video on, and of course it's not out yet. So let's look at this Plasma XPL. Let me write that down. I have no idea what this is. Is this another one that's not really out yet? So Plasma is a purpose-built layer 1 blockchain optimized for global stablecoin payments, engineered to deliver near instant fee-free USDT transfers. It features a high-performance consensus engine, Plasma BFT, a pipelined implementation of fast hot stuff, okay, that enables scalable throughput and fast finality under full Byzantine fault tolerance. And I'm not going to read that whole thing. I think you get the gist of it. It's going to be a layer 1 project. Platform, Gate, looks like Gate.io. It raised $1 million when though, from the 23rd to the 25th. So it's still going. I was like, we haven't had the 25th yet. And anybody who hasn't already said so, will you drop in the comment if you have seen about Lighter? It goes right with our program schedule here today, talking about decentralized exchanges. And if you watched the video I put out on it, drop that in the comments. Let's go look at the website for this thing. And then after this, we're going to hop into the real theme of the day. I can't believe we've already been going for 45 minutes. Redefining how money moves. Stablecoin infrastructure for a new global financial system. How many of these projects do we need? You know, we do a lot of deep dive and research. I feel like we see these projects constantly. And I mean, there is definitely room for a lot of different projects doing this type of stuff. It's all infrastructure. Definitely make some 1-minute YouTube shorts to help grow your channel. I appreciate that, Bufflink. I do make a lot of YouTube shorts. I don't know if you've seen any of my YouTube shorts, but I do them a lot of times on trending coins and stuff like that. I'm open all the time, whether here or in the Discord, for ideas that you might have on what I should do shorts on. But I usually do them on what's trending and stuff, just bringing it on people's radar so that they are aware of the coin. Plasma is a high-performance layer 1 blockchain purpose-built for stablecoins. Designed for stablecoins from the ground up, Plasma powers near-instant fee-free payments with institutional-grade security. Designed for stablecoins, and I mean, we were just looking at stable, right? Another reimagining stablecoins kind of deal. The best tooling to build stablecoin applications. Token 2049. With strong growth in both supply and users, we are entering a new phase of mainstream adoption for stablecoins. To meet this challenge, it's more important than ever to have secure, decentralized, and scalable infrastructure in place. Plasma is designed to provide these essential rails. So I'll put stablecoins down as well. If I can do a whole stream on AI and stuff like that, I can do one on stablecoins. I just feel like a lot of people are not going to be very enthusiastic about a stablecoin research. But I'm not going to so much bring up every, that would be mad to try to bring up every stablecoin project. That would be, be looking at USDTE, USDC, USDEC, like just, it would be mind numbing to do. But we'd focus a lot more on the tech and what's important about stablecoins, how they work, infrastructure. That's where the real crypto IQ move would be. Not to go over all the coins that are stablecoins. That would be really boring, but we will talk about the tech and why stablecoins are important, because I think it is a little bit lost on most retail. Most retail is just like, okay, it's a stablecoin, it's $1. How many of them do we need? Why do we need 50 projects that are $1? Like, but when you get into the infrastructure of the whole thing, then they start making a lot more sense. Why you have so many of them. And I think that's really all the projects here that I don't see anything really popping out to me here that's super new and exciting. So let's go to our ChatGPT research of the day. So what perpetual DEX are and how they work. This is the real IQ moving part of the show. What perpetual DEX are and how they work. I just read that, but I read it again. Perpetual DEXs are decentralized exchanges. I think you figured that out already. That let traders use perpetual future contracts, derivatives with non-expiry date. They run on smart contracts, often layer 2s, for fast settlement and low gas fees. Two main models exist: an order book style like dYdX, familiar to traders, and an AMM style like GMX, liquidity pools backed leveraged trades. And why are we going over this? Because there's just so much hype in this field. I think it would be good if we understood what in the world is making it popular. So why perpetual trading matters for DeFi and Web3 in 2025. So perpetuals are the most traded product in crypto, often dwarfing spot volume on centralized exchanges. Everybody's trying to make quick double ups. A lot of people losing their money. On-chain perp trading brings transparency, decentralization, and self-custody to this massive derivatives market. That line right there is really the sauce. Is if you've ever been liquidated or something, if you've ever had a stop loss and price just went through your stop loss so fast, it was incredible. And instead of losing, a couple percent that you planned on, you lost like 12% or 15% when you had your stop loss at like 1%. and that can be really annoying. So if you could go back at least and look a little bit and see what was going on, it might help you feel a little bit better about it. Might make you feel like you didn't get robbed, right? It helps DeFi expand beyond simple spot swaps into more advanced markets, boosting adoption and liquidity. It's just something crypto needs, honestly. So the top decentralized perps right now, and this is probably pulling what is the bigger exchanges. So dYdX migrated to Cosmos order book model. We have GMX, Arbitrum, and Avalanche based pioneered Perp AMMs. So it's really the one who coined this and started using AMMs. Hyperliquid, gaining momentum and a fast growing perpetual DEX. Aevo combines options and perpetuals. So that's where Aevo kind of varies a little bit, as it has the options and the perpetuals. Synthetic perps volume 3, derivatives through synthetic assets. If that's SNX, I couldn't find their actual product. I could only find something about a whitelist for a trading competition. That was kind of annoying. Emerging names, these are the ones that we've been heavily focused on. MYX, Avantis, Aster, and are all trading in 2025 as new perp DEX platforms. Everybody here probably knows that. Benefits of traders, developers, and investors. Traders, non-custodial trading, leveraging options, and global access. Developers, built on open source, transparent perp infrastructure. Investors, exposure to fee. I don't know where I got, investors, exposure to fees, governance tokens, and growth of decentralized derivatives. Risk opportunities in the future of perp DEXs. Opportunities on-chain perp markets could rival centralized exchanges in liquidity and user base. That would be the day, where perpetuals that are decentralized exchanges kind of take over the game, and the centralized exchanges maybe fade to the background. They'd have to really do more to make people want to be on their exchange. Smart contract vulnerabilities, oracle manipulation, and liquidity fragmentation. So future, expect deeper liquidity, cross-chain perp platform, AI-enhanced trading, and institutional adoption of decentralized derivatives. So, we got Pablo. Says, hey bro and friends, didn't get notification, bad YouTube. Not surprising, YouTube can do that. Better late than never. I'll watch what I missed later. Cool, man, I appreciate you being here. And we are talking about perpetual decentralized exchanges. I'm sure you know that is hot right now. So that's really all the information that it gave me here, and that's all we need. We don't need to over talk the points to death. One thing that I didn't see it put in here that I think is interesting with Lightning, which for Pablo who even hopped in, I hope you caught my video that I did on Lightning, and there'll be a follow-up video as well. But they built what's called like an exit hatch. That's what they're calling it. And it's where, think about FTX and the crash of different exchanges and stuff. They have it so it's built on Ethereum, and you can get your money off even if the whole entire exchange crashes. Now, you wouldn't really know if that was true until their whole entire exchange crashes, right? So there is that. But, I mean, if it did crash, you'd be hoping that that was legitimate. Let's pop back over to Crypto Bubbles. Getting a little bit more reddish. And what's it doing on the hour? Only thing really up on the hour is Aether and Aster. And then 0G losing 5.7%. Monero getting the tiniest little pump. It is the hour, so I mean, you don't expect huge numbers on the hour. Flare Network doing pretty good. I don't know if I mentioned that one earlier. Up almost 10% if you got some Flare. So he says he did watch it. All right, cool, man. If you could give me any kind of feedback on it, drop a comment on it, or in here, tell me what you thought of the video. Just spent a lot of time editing it and stuff, and I'm not sure if I over edited it to death. I've got my opinion about it, and a couple other people gave me their opinion about it. All seems to be pretty positive, but I just want as many opinions as I can possibly get. Now, I'm going to talk about something for a second here that's a little bit random. But I made a video about this. It is somewhat within crypto, and I'm not encouraging anybody to go start gambling. Don't get me wrong here. This is what I want to say, though, because we're all in crypto and we all wish we had a little bit more money for crypto. Thought it was great. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that feedback. So if you make an account with stake.com, and then this is stake.com for America, I'm pretty sure they have one for other ones. I did put an affiliate link in the description. I just did that for the heck of it so you can quickly get over to it. I haven't even looked to see if I get anything for the referral code. I really don't know. But here's what I do. I go to the wallet and I go to the daily bonus, and they'll give you a free $1, right? I have been doing this for a long time. I don't really put any money into it. I do it across several different casinos, I guess, and I just grab the free money every day. And in some months I've gotten $400 or $500. Some months I only get like 50 to $100. But I thought it was worth putting out there to everybody because we all wish that we had more money to buy crypto with, to trade with. I mean, there's several times I've cashed out $150, $200 on here off of free money. Sometimes I'll collect it for 2-3 days, you know, so you get a little bit more play. And I'll go to the games. I like this Gods of Troy a lot. And I play the 20-cent roll, so you get a little bit more, right? You got 5 chances. And they actually took away my favorite games, which are Stampede. And I'm not really trying to show this. Again, I promise you, I really don't know what they give me. If you click on it and sign up under my affiliate link, I have no idea what they're going to give me. But anyways, collect your free $1. And if you think that I'm trying to do something by getting and shilling and getting affiliate, then go sign up on your own. I don't really care. But get that free $1 every day. Stack it up for 4 or 5 days straight. It takes 2 seconds to click wallet, daily bonus, claim daily bonus. And it'll let you do it once every 24 hours. And then go. Let the run. It's free money. And when you hit something decent, cash it out. It's all in crypto, so you can easily send it in XRP or something like that. And I don't know, buy yourself some more crypto or something. Like I said, I have made anywhere from $400 or $500 a month and up to $50 to $100 sometimes when I'm not really paying as much attention to it and hitting it all the time. And when I first started my channel, I was talking about it and made a video about it, but I had zero attention at that time. So I figured I'd throw it up here. Now, I did have a list. Here we are, of Perpetual DEXs. Now, before we get into really looking at a bunch of these, let's just read down the list and see what we do understand and what we don't understand, or are familiar with or not familiar with, right? Hyperliquid, we should know that one. Aster, we should know that one. MYX, definitely should know that one. Jupiter is in this list. I thought that was pretty interesting. Avantis, so dYdX. Arkham, I'm surprised to see Arkham in this list, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. So here's APX, which was the rebrand from Aster. I don't really understand why. I don't understand it at all. So 26,868. No, wait. 26,000% in the last 7 days. Why is this thing pumping? Is this not the coin that they rebranded from? So maybe there were 2 teams and they split up and this project's still actually doing something? I have no idea why this would be pumping. And one thing I can say though that I've seen before is I've seen where the tokenomics and supply and things change when they port over to a new contract, and that causes the chart to do something ridiculous. But if you actually try to get out of the coin, and I'm not saying that's true for this, but if you actually try to get out of the coin, they don't really have an off ramp anymore. You have to convert into the new coin, and then there's none of this up 6,000% or whatever. 2,600, sorry, not 26,000. What am I talking about? So Woo, that's another one we looked at, or Aevo. We have Orderly, Apex, which I was confusing with APX for the first day or two. Gains Network, that's a nice sounding name. Trador, Quanta, Sin Futures, and we'll click on that one first just because somebody had brought it up in the chat. We'll do that one first once I kind of go through the list. Adrena, Overlay Protocol, Bluefish, Zeta, dYdX again. Why do we have it again? dYdX, and then we have ETH dYdX. Okay, that makes sense. Strike, IDX, Perpetual Protocol, Mango, Fulcrum, QuickSwap, Superp, Pika Protocol, Cryptex Finance, Flash.trade, Kilo EX, and we're getting real small here. I mean, these ones are worth like $8 million, right? So I will stop reading them. See if any of these stick out to me. And this is where you get deep into what's going on. Wow. And there's just a lot of them. These look like two that don't have any information here. Just going to click this one real quick. I'm going to see why it has no information. So preview only. Okay. So maybe this is one to maybe take a look at. All right. So I was just reading when can we expect a token launch, and they just tell you like we can't tell you that. Very helpful. All right. So let's look at this Syn Futures. I want to say synthetic future or something like that, but that's not really what it's called. Just Syn Futures. Its ticker is just F, so that's simple. It is down 86.3%, and there were just crickets when I brought up stake.com. I don't blame you. Don't gamble your money. If you can get some free money and make some money, do it. Otherwise, live your life. Don't gamble, is my opinion, not financial advice. So 36.7 million in market cap, pretty small. And it did just get this pump off the floor. This thing has been around since December 5th, 2024. But let's go look at like the monthly. And then you did get this big rip from 0.006 all the way to 0.026. Looks like it's flagging out there a little bit. Why has it started moving? Probably just all the hype around this narrative. Go back to the max chart here. It's an ETH contract, base blockchain contract, Binance Smart Chain contract. Let's open their Twitter and see how many followers they got. How are they doing? They've been around since 2024, so I hope that they have some followers. Got the gold check mark and 357.6 thousand followers. That is not, it's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and give them a follow, see if they post anything interesting. Please follow me, Crypto Ron, with the blue check mark over on Twitter. Would greatly appreciate it. Let's see what kind of notifications we got. Absolutely nothing exciting. Maxi Doge, that was from when I was doing some research on what was trending. A lot of newly listed, most of them were meme coins. I don't know that it'll do anything, but I did make a reel about it. All right, I'm just scrolling. I'm not even reading it. So their pinned post has 31,000, and it's from September 11th. Syn Futures is preparing for a major upgrade. We're evolving to show what the future of DeFi can be. Okay, so when we talk major upgrade, sometimes they could generate a bit of a hype event around it. Token's already out, so I don't think you really need to worry about airdrops or anything like that. And that was the 11th. Today is the 24th. So that wasn't all that long ago. Maybe we should hop into this post and see if there's anything interesting in the comments. So they say blank blank is being designed to conceive DeFi as it should be. Unified, permissionless, simple, and transparent. RWAs, institutional grade liquidity, millisecond latency. Okay, so they're gonna bring in RWAs. It's a smart move, at least narrative wise. Invite only. Beta begins in Q4. Man, where have I heard that before? Lighter is also in a invite only beta right now, and that is why it's so hard to get any information about it. But at least this token's already out. This is just a start. The future of trading is on its way. DeFi level up incoming. And then we'll just see. And this is Twitter comments, so who knows? A lot of it could be bots. Yeah, I didn't see anything substantial other than what they kind of added to the thread themselves. Nothing to see here, just a fresh coat of paint, or is it? So maybe they kind of refreshened up their platform there, the layer, the part most people would use. All right, and so I guess that's really all there is to report from the Twitter. Let's go look at their website. And we have DeFi, perpetuals, NFT-Fi. That's interesting. And then some different portfolios that they're in. And let's open. Oh, wait. I already did their Twitter. Not again. All right. Let's open up their website. On-chain perps for any asset. Trade trending tokens and maximize your returns with unlimited opportunities. Trade now. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Permissionless perps and futures. Trade an endless array of assets and freely listed new pairs under 30 seconds. Man, some days I just be reading whatever I want. Unlimited liquidity boost powered by Oyster AMM. So we talked about the difference between AMM and what was the other one? I'm blanking here. Order book. So there's the order book model, and then there's AMMs, which is automated market makers, and that is done with pools. That's what it told us, right? Just double checking my facts here. Wouldn't hurt. Liquidity pools backed leveraged trades. Okay, cool. So we're on that. So this is Oyster AMM. So provide liquidity using Oyster. Oyster, I'm assuming, is a different project, right? That's working in tandem with them. A new solution that combines the best order book of AMMs with fully on-chain and provided liquidity. Yes, I kind of just read whatever I wanted there, but it's the same thing. Battle tested across 3 versions. So they had 3 versions in their battle testing. That's interesting. So 321.6 billion in accumulated trading volume. Now, is that all on leverage? They love to inflate the numbers, right, when it's all on leverage. How's everybody feeling out there? I haven't seen a comment come through in a hot minute, ever since I brought up stake, actually. So I hope I didn't scare everybody away. Somebody throw something in the comments here if you have a project maybe you want me to go over. How long do you guys think this decentralized exchange, perpetuals, derivatives narrative is going to be hot for? That is a great question, I think, to ask everybody. Do you think this is going to be hot for a long period of time, or do you think this is going to come and go, and it's going to be like AI agents, right? In a couple of months, we're going to be like, all forgot about it, and nobody will be looking for the next MYX anymore. We will all pretty much accept that it's over. Or is it going to run until the end of the market? You never know. All right, so Sin Futures airdrop campaign. So I guess there is an airdrop. So claim your share of 750 million F token in our season 1 airdrop. So Watchman24 says on the road here. I wonder if Watchman is a trucker or something. He's always on the road. Hopium days, just working, listening to knowledge drops. Watchman says, I'd also love to see you go over PQ network. I'll write that down. I have gone over it before, and I believe, yeah, I'm like 99.9% sure I was pretty bullish on that project. I really liked what was going on there. So I will definitely go over that, Watchman, in just a minute. And I realize a lot of people are probably watching and doing whatever they do. Like Hopadazium says he's working. I appreciate you guys being here more than you would ever know. I'm certainly not trying to give anybody a hard time. Like, you got to constantly comment. But sometimes when there's no comment for a minute, I'm just like, am I messing up? That's just on me, right? That is just something you do when you're live streaming. So they do have an airdrop. It says, honoring our community vital role as we build a full stack financial infrastructure. Connect wallet to check your eligibility. I have no idea why my wallet would have any eligibility because I don't feel like I'm doing anything with it. Season 2 Pearl program. Keep participating and stay tuned for future airdrops. So I assume that you have to be literally using their product and trading. And with this going on so much, I'm about to actually get on one of these and actually start trading and see how much I like it. Because the no fee thing I could do, because a lot of times when I have even just a couple of dollars in an account, like say I have multiple different exchanges that I'm on. Okay, I agree to whatever that is, right? I have multiple different exchanges I'm on. Sometimes I'll just have like $3-4 on there somehow. Sometimes it's been given to me by the actual, platform. It's happened many times with MYX Global. Sometimes they'll just give me $5 to trade with for no reason. And I can edge out 20 cents, 30 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents real easy with, you know, responsible leverage and stuff. And it never really matters because I just get eaten to death by the fees. It's fun to trade with and to practice trading, you know, but you do definitely just get eaten with fees. All right. What are we really looking at here? Really, I want to see what we have for different pairs, dogs, Bera, Melania, Trump, Degen, Lard, Pengu, Virtuals. Okay, is that it? So that's all. RWA. Okay, so I don't feel like they don't have a ton. Is this really all the pairs? It's kind of interesting. Like, you have Mu, but I don't see XRP. I don't see Avantis or some of those other ones, which maybe they just don't want to put their competitors on there. Okay, so they do have more pairs, right? Here, let's type in XRP. Okay, it's not coming up. This did say new futures. And there are quite a few here that were not on that list. Blast being an interesting project I haven't talked about in a long time. So yeah, where's the actual futures? Right, I want to see how smooth this looks. I kind of like it. Let's switch it to dark mode. I like the way this is set up. And we've been looking at a lot of them. One thing that I've been making sure I do is always go and look at the actual platform that you would be using if you were using their product and see how it kind of stacks up against them. A lot of them look exactly the same. This, for some reason, feels smoother. It's at least more pleasant to look at. Let's check out the comments. So Pablo says, "You're good, bro. I appreciate that greatly." He says, "I think Aster and Avantis are going to keep running. There will surely be some casualties among new ones coming out." Exactly. I agree with you. I think they're going to keep running at least for another couple of weeks at least, right? So PQ's chart looks like it's in an ascending triangle, but yeah, I haven't had the time to research it. Okay, well, I'll definitely look at it. I like that you're in the charts and you're looking at charts that are more than Bitcoin and ETH and stuff like that. If you're looking at PQ's chart, then you are actually charting like a lifer is supposed to. I'm listening and reading about SYN as you talk. That's awesome, Pablo. I'm starting to get good feels actually about this SYN. I'll put a star next to it. I think that's a really important one to take a look at. And I like that it just got a little bit of a pump, right? Let's go to the chart that we were looking at. Yeah, so it's done nothing. It's been flat for a minute, and then it just pumped up and flagged out. I like to see that. I like to see that a lot. Let's go to the 7-day or the 24-hour. Okay, let's go to the month. I think seven days a little too zoomed in. And yeah, there is a nice flag here with a big measured move. I see continual gains coming in this one. This might be the first one that I hop on board with. Just saying. This might be the first one that I hop on board with. I doubt that I'm going to be able to trade it in leverage. Wonder if MYX Global has it. So many questions coming in. All right. So I like that they have some airdrop talk because airdrop brings a lot of people in. And you can stake. Let's see. They tell us what the APY is on their stake. I guess not unless you connect a wallet. Airdrop boost, voting power, and fee rebate. So you can get a rebate on fees if you stake. That makes sense. What a lot of centralized exchanges do is if you buy their token and you hold a certain amount of it, then they will let you have lower fees, no fees. They'll give you different things. Like, for example, on MYX, WEEX, and I don't have an affiliate link for it, but I like that when I hold their token, they do these airdrops where like they'll just have like, you know, a bunch of a coin given to them and they're going to airdrop it. And then you stake, and it's like only for short periods of time. It's like for 5-7 days, you know? So you'll stake your like token exchange coin for 5-7 days. and then they'll give you a percentage of the airdrop, and then your tokens come back to you, and you just do the next one and do the next one and do the next one, and you kind of get proportional to how much you stake, which is cool. I don't get a lot, but the hot meme coin comes out and I get a couple dollars worth of it, and then it rockets and that turns into even 15-20 bucks. Then I just rinse and repeat. That would be awesome. At the end of the market, if my account goes way up because of that, that would be awesome. I'm here for that. So let's just pull a random chart. Let's pull up Pengu. See how smooth this goes. Now the leverage is only 5x. It's almost too responsible. USDC, short, long. I'm just playing around with some of the things here. Switch to liquidity, add liquidity. I don't really know what that means. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I know what liquidity is for sure, but I don't know what they want you to do there. They have the market, the limit, and the scaled limit. One thing that I always want to do is use like a trailing stop loss, and I never take the time to actually figure that out and do it. I've seen it on different things, slippage, deadline. Very interesting. Limit, market. And when you guys are trading, anybody who's trading, do you usually use market orders or limit orders? I would like to know that. I know what I do a lot of the time. Well, it actually really depends. Sometimes I'll pull up a chart and I'll just pull up, like, for example, Bitcoin. I could do it right now, and then I would just set my between the 706, the 0.706 and the 0.786 retracement levels, and I'll just set buy orders there. And if it goes down there and it hits, usually off to the races, stop loss under the beginning of where you pulled your fib from, the beginning of the impulse, and let it rock. Or I'll just mark it in when I'm in a flag and I've set my stop loss and put up my trade. How does anybody else feel about that? All right, so am I on the right thing here? Probably not. So I really like this SYN futures. Yes, I could pull up MYX. I could pull up Avantis. I could pull up all of those. I feel like we beat that to death. Does anybody want to see me do that? So Watchman says market and trigger orders. Yeah. I mean, honestly, unless it's a flag that I really think looks great, a lot of times doing those market orders, trigger orders, 786, 706, man, they hit so much. For me, not telling you what to do. So Arkham, I know what Arkham is. I'm just trying to figure out why it's here in this exchange, or in this list of decentralized exchanges. Derivatives and perpetuals. I thought they did more information, though. I thought they were more like gathering information. Binance Labs portfolio, made in the US. A centralized exchange token. All right, we got to click on this because do I have this? I know I don't have it mixed up because I know what Arkham is. But they must also do this as well. It's throwing me off a little bit. Anybody followed Arkham for a while? Have they always had this going on? Buy Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and other cryptos. So let's go to start trading. Wait, I have to put in my email. I don't want to do this. No, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to take a look at it. If I had to sign in and make an account with every single one of them, that would be really annoying. And I should be able to use Web3 too. Again, it did say it was a centralized exchange, so I should have expected that. It's not going to have a Web3 wallet and stuff like that. To me, the hype is decentralized exchanges, and I really don't know why they put this in here. Let's pop back out. And so Jupiter, another one they threw in there that I was surprised to see. So this is just perpetual coins in general, is this listing, right? And you can see some other categories. One thing I like about CoinGecko is all the categories, how niched out the categories are. Like here, pre-stock ecosystem, trading card RWA platforms, hot right now, farming as a service. Very interesting. Maybe we'll pull one of those up at the end of the stream. Shout out to all the people who are hopping in here. Hit that like, share, subscribe. This is Underground Crypto Deep Research Show. We are talking about decentralized exchanges. We just found SYN futures. Somebody threw it in the chat. I'm not trying to take complete opportunity, but that's a power testimony to the community and why we're building a community. There's a Discord link in the description. Go ahead, hop over in the Discord if you like the show and you want to be a part of a community that is always researching. We found Avantis, MYX, Aster, several days before they caught huge pumps. We were talking about them. I don't tell you what to buy or what to do with your money. And now we're going to look at Jupiter and try to figure out why it is on this list. Sorry, I saw an influx of people hopping in there, so I wanted to do that real quick. So decentralized finance, Perpetual, made in the US. Sometimes we'll just hit fluxes of people rolling into the stream. But that's good. That means that YouTube is showing the stream to people. So Unichain and Solana. Unichain, very interesting. Don't see that very often. And this is Jupiter. I mean, if you don't know what Jupiter is, I don't know what to tell you. 1.4 billion in its market cap. This is... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Where's their website? I want the website. Jupe.ag. And Lifer always says when Jupiter is above $1, we're doing well. And it's not. It is not above $1. Let's go to the max chart, actually. So January 30th, 2024, it's been as high. Let's go down and do the actual highs and lows. So all-time high, $2. It's down 76% from there. It was over a year ago. All-time low, 30 cents. We're up 52.8% from there. And that was 6 months ago. But yeah, we're not over $1. So according to Lifer, we are not in altcoin season. And how about that altcoin season? Who else is just disappointed to see how quick that was ripped out of our hands? And it's not, I don't think it's completely off the table for any means. It just, sometimes it's like when it's time to run, it's time to run. Big people are involved in it. Tons of money will be made by people with tons of money. And they're not ready for it to move yet. I think the big question is, will they ever be ready for it to move? Or do they just not care about any of that stuff? I mean, one thing you could say is like, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these big, they have tons of money. It's very safe. That's what they want to see move and stuff. True, but they can turn little tiny amounts of money, a lot of money to us, but a couple million to them, little amounts of money. And then they can just absolutely take crazy gains on it. And I don't know why they wouldn't want to play that game. And I think they will want to play that game at some point. Sarcasm, BTC. Don't think I've seen you comment yet. Thanks for being here. Jupiter had good annual airdrops for a while, along with voting that would pay you out quarterly with staking rewards, but now it's too big to get a decent allocation, in my opinion. Yeah, that makes sense. I would see how they would do a lot of those type of things when they're new. Then they get people used to using them, and then they don't have the reason to offer incentive anymore, right? They don't need to be so incentive. All right, so what do we got next? Woo, we've been over before. I know I'm kind of hopping through. Like I said, I could pull up Hyperliquid and MYX and Avantis and Aster and all these different things, but we've looked at them so much that I don't feel like that's what you guys want me to do. We talked about APX being the coin before the rebrand to Aster. I don't really know why it's pumping, honestly. Let's look at dYdX. So dYdX, I think I own some of this somewhere. I'm not sure, is on Osmosis, and then it looks like even its own chain. So it is a DEX, it is smart contract platform, it is a layer 1 perpetuals app chain. What else we got? Made in the US, Polychain Capital, Andreessen and Horowitz, AI16Z portfolio. Also Andreessen and Horowitz very much behind Lighter. And if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out. Yeah, I put it out today. Let's go to their website. Let's take a look. I want to see what their platform product looks like. So Crypto Maniac says, definitely disappointed. Once you think altcoin season might start, BTC starts dumping. I know. There's no way. I don't know. In my opinion, at this point, there's no way it's an accident. Yeah, I almost count on it. You know, I had the feeling that they might let the thing run. But at the same time, I had a feeling that they were going to dump it and just not let us have an altcoin season. In my opinion, just from my own thoughts, I think that the little bit of altcoin season we're going to have, it's going to be crazy explosive. It's going to be super quick. It's going to be super fast. And people are going to be taking profits by the time your regular average Joe even knows that it's going on. which is a little bit counterproductive because I feel like we need a lot of that retail to run in. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong. Are we getting the extended? Yeah, you know, because like for a while you had the 4-year cycle versus this extended cycle argument. I know I brought this up several times, but what is going to happen is really interesting because for a while it was like I didn't really care to figure out exactly what it was going to be. There was no way to know. We had plenty of time left in the 4-year cycle, so it's just like watch and see. But now we're getting pressed to the end of that 4-year cycle narrative, and if we don't see anything, then what? Altcoins are dead forever? We're in an extended market? We go into a bear market without ever having an altcoin season? What does that do to altcoin season's next rally? Who in the world is going to buy any altcoins? And again, guys, we're not talking about meme coins. We're talking about altcoins, which is any coin that's not Bitcoin. So, you know, Ondo, I mean, has Ondo been doing well? Jasmy, like, you know, I'm just throwing out names there, but like, they don't seem like they're doing all that well. Too many cryptos could be a factor. Yeah, I've said that for a long time, Crypto Maniac. I think also a lot of these like Pump.fun and places where you can create all these meme coins and stuff, I think it just muddies up the market so much. I am not a fan of that. So Pablo says, I feel like BTC is like parking meter. Someone has to buy some or it expires, aka dumps. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, and that's a good analogy. So we're over here on dYdX. It's been around for a while, and I mean, compared to what we were just at with Sin Future, I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to say that, so I'm going to say Sin Future for now. But I just got to commit to one, otherwise I'll just start saying crazy stuff, trying to make sense of it. I don't know. It's got the trading view imprint. I like to see that. I always change my colors. Who else changes their colors on their candles? I do like the teal and white. I don't really like the red and green. I think it's too psychological. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I do like that they have the trading view input so you can kind of mess around and put all your indicators and stuff in. But it feels a little clunky. I mean, compare this to this. And I know it seems a little maybe unimportant, but I think it's more important than you might believe if you're feeling that way about it. Where are we at? Futures. Take us to futures. Also, the Sin Futures has a launch pad. We didn't click on that before. So look at this, man. That just looks inviting. Like, that looks like I want to use it. And this kind of feels crappy. I feel like the chart's kind of crunched up. I probably could zoom out or something like that. Yeah, I could zoom out and make it look a little bit better. But I don't know. It just looks a little cluttered to me. I don't even see where I can toggle between like light mode and dark mode. I don't know. If I had to pick one, I'm going with this all day long. So, but this is a constant thing I do see with every single one of these. And Pablo says, I agree, or he just says agree. I assume it's him who is agreeing. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's a no-brainer. I'm really liking the feel on this because this feel looks different than even MYX or Avantis. They look a little smoother, but this seems better. One thing I constantly see is in accordance. User located in restricted jurisdictions are prohibited from accessing our services. It's so annoying to constantly be not allowed in stuff because what, you're American? I don't know. It gets old. I want to see that fixed in the next couple of years, and I think we will. I think we will see it fixed. The US is now more friendly with crypto than it's ever been. You know, how did we go from they were never going to give us any clarity and basically only criminals use it to the president's talking about, you know, cryptocurrency is probably how we're going to be able to get out of the massive amount of debt that we have as a country. Like that is a 180 if I have ever seen one. And I'm not really asking about anybody's political opinion. Not that I'm scared of political conversations. It just doesn't seem like the time and place to have one. Unless it's around crypto. If it's around crypto, I'm here for it. So what else do we got that we could get into? I was just about to do something and then I totally forgot what it is. Let's close some of these tabs. We don't need all these tabs. So let's look at Woo real quick. Somebody brought it up before. So Reef said true. So Woo has recently migrated from their old contract to a new contract. Why did they do that? well, probably they started off and they had a contract and then they just felt like they wanted to move forward and maybe that contract just didn't serve them anymore. Speculation. October 29th, 2020. This thing has been out for a minute. Why would you buy something that's super old and been out like this for forever? I mean, they've been out since 2020, so 5 years, give or take months, right? And they're only up 18%. And I'm not trying to harp on them too bad, but they only have $124.2 million in their market cap. All I can say is wrong time, and the narrative hasn't been hot at all, or they're not doing something right. And let's see if we can figure out what that something they're not doing right is. So Watchman says, have you checked out Thena already? It's also a perp. No, I will write it down though. And we will go over it in just a minute. I'm surprised that I haven't seen it. Maybe it did come across it and I just didn't read it. Trade how you like. And we're going to skip kind of all of this and just see if we can get to... Okay, I remember going over this. So they have a decentralized cross-chain basic swap. And they have a centralized exchange. And then they have a decentralized perpetual trading. So they're like on every side of this. And let's see what it looks like though. And that's what I'm going to judge them on. Right now I'm at the point where I am judging them based off of what it looks like when I come over. If I was going to hop in and trade here, I'm judging them by how much leverage I can get, all of that kind of stuff, right? So ETH USDC dumping down to 4,000. Is BTC doing that? I mean, a little bit for sure. Okay. I have a chart in the background. I know you guys can't see it, but for BTC, I'm always keeping an eye on it. Well, let's see. Let's see what kind of different pairs we got going on. I do like the leverage, 100x. BTC, Sol, Psi. You know, the two sides to me are how smooth does it look? Is it inviting? Do I want to use it? And then what's almost more important than that is what do they have for pairs and how much leverage can I get, right? Those are the two things. And I'm not a big, multi-100x leverage kind of person, not like Master Friend is. He's a beast when it comes to that. It's wild. But yeah, so that's kind of my two factors that I am judging by. I don't hate this. I do think they have a lot of pairs. They have good leverage. I mean, look, they already have stable on here. Somebody was saying that they couldn't get into stable many times. Look, you could buy it on WooFi. And WooFi's been around a while, so they should have a lot of pairs. I'd be disappointed if they did not. So I don't hate WooFi. As far as their actual product, I really don't hate it. I mean, you can compare the two. I still like the lighter outlook on this one. I'm going to kind of try to close some of these tabs we don't need so we don't lag out here. And how's the music, everybody? Blues Guy, I was wondering when you were going to slide through. Hey, guys. Hey, Underground. What's shaking? Glad to see you. Glad to see you, man. I was surprised that I hadn't seen you yet. I was kind of waiting for you to hop in. I'm glad that you did. Blues Guy, you said something in Discord today that I was going to say something about. Let me pull up Discord and refresh my memory of what it was. Or am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping here. I thought you said something in the Discord. Or was it somewhere else? Oh, I think you commented on a video. That's what it was. Did you drop a comment on a video, Blues Guy? If you had a question or something, feel free to remind me. There was something I was going to address when you came on, and I wanted to say, I am not going to miss your stream, bro. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I love when people lock in like that. That's kind of how I am with Crypto Lifer stream. I don't miss. Very rarely do I miss. I missed one on Saturday because I was with friends, and it was my birthday and stuff, and we were hanging out. But I was very tempted to just hop on the Lifer stream and ignore all of them. I was very tempted. If it wasn't one of my best friends, I would have. So, Aevo. Oh, about Lighter. Yeah, what were you asking about Lighter? Oh, you were asking about the tokens and stuff. Yeah, what I wanted to tell you is I'm going to be putting out another video I wanted to make them separate videos because they kind of hit different niches. One's very educational about Lighter, the founder, how it works, the tech, all of that stuff. And then you have a bunch of people who are going to be chasing airdrops and stuff like that. So I'm going to definitely be doing a separate video on that. I don't want to take too long to put it out, right? I want to get that thing out tomorrow at some point. And then also, so there actually is going to be like 3 videos, because the next video that I'm also going to do is about this interview that somebody did with the founder of Lighter, and it goes into more detail than a lot of the stuff that even the video I just talked about did. So there's that. That's kind of the rundown. Reef says happy belated. Thank you, sir. I absolutely appreciate that. I assume you're a sir. I only have a very small icon, but it looks like a sir. And I appreciate that very much. So, Aevo is 10 cents, down 96.7%. Max chart says March 12th, 2024. So, Blue Guy says, I was trying hard to find out and what, not much info yet. Yeah, and I've spent way too much time researching it, and there's literally nothing. I don't think there is any information. The best information we have at this point about it is there's a points program. I assume it's only for the people in beta, and basically they're selling those points OTC, over the counter, already in anticipation. This was in the video. In anticipation for those points being awarded airdrops and stuff like that. And they're assuming that it will be between $2 and $4 billion in market cap right when it comes out. So a lot of us will miss, the real gains there. It was pretty cool video you did on Lighter. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. I spent like 6-7 hours on that video, and then it was a 7-minute video. So it's an odd feeling to do that much time and effort for a 7-minute video. So let's look at Apex, because APX was the coin before Aster rebranded. APEX is, we don't know. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's been out for a while, since April 26, 2022. Only 1 billion in max supply. Circulating supply is 134.6 million, so it's been around quite some time. Surprised that, roughly 3 years, give or take some months. I'm surprised that it has such a low circulating supply. Let's go to the exchange, and let's go down here. Is it a centralized exchange? I totally clicked the wrong thing. That's not what I wanted. Keeping up with the chat. Also, how's the music? Is there music playing? Is the volume good? Is it playing songs that you don't like? If it's ever playing a song you don't like, just tell me and I will skip it, because I can't hear it, by the way. So Reef says, I used to use Apex. Okay, well that is very interesting. I do love to hear when somebody has used it. I like the website, just off cuff. I don't want that tab open. Okay. Self-custody, speed and security, decentralized exchange with Apex. Trade spot, trade perpetual. Let's click perpetual, see what we get. At this point, I'm really just comparing the products. Their website looked tight, so I hope they kept that same kind of branding. Oh, they did, with the black and yellow. I like that. I always say I really like the dark mode on any website better, but for some reason, the Sin Futures kind of light look, very sleek, not overly cluttered. One thing I would say is, like, there's a lot of clutter, right? You got numbers up here, you got a chart here, you got an order book here, you got, all your other, in and outs and markets and limits here. And sometimes it just feels really cluttered. I like how Sin kind of made it feel less cluttered. Because, they say if your house is cluttered, your mind is cluttered, your room is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. If your exchange is cluttered, does that mean that my trading is cluttered as well? What does that even say? It says Bringe Lord. Apex has future grid bot, which is cool. Oh, I'll definitely be looking at that. I love when there's bots. Remember when I could use KuCoin all the time and it had bots and you could tweak them and stuff? That was fun, and then they kicked us all off, right? And I have a Palau ID. There is a link in the description if anybody cares, but I use the Palau ID to still use all of those exchanges. But I didn't do that till years later, right? So Reef says they only used to have 5 pairs when I used it in Perps. And that's something I've seen with a lot of different exchanges is they didn't have good pairs. Because I looked at some of these things a long time ago. They got pairs now, though. They definitely got pairs now. And they got the ones that matter. Look, they even have Sahara USDT. That's pretty dope. So Blues Guy says, I see in the near future your channel about to explode, brother. Mark my words. I'm a bit of a meditation guru type. I believe in the law of attraction. I love Roan. Hey via the lifer. Via Underground G for making a huge difference in the crypto world. Amazing content, brother. I love learning new stuff. Hey man, I appreciate all those kind words. I hope we're gonna blow because I am certainly doing what I love, and when you do what you love, a lot of times it works out. And I feel very called to do this for whatever reason, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I'm gonna keep cranking it out. I'm with you on the Jim Rohn content. Like everybody else in the gym is listening to, you know, whatever hype music hypes them up. I see people love their you know, their metal music or their hard ego rap music to lift to. I've never enjoyed that. I'm more of a reggae. I listen to reggae music, made reggae music for a long time. So if I'm going to listen to music in the gym, it's going to be reggae. But I've been doing nothing but Jim Rohn, and it has definitely been helping me get my mind right and clear and get, you know, order my steps in the direction that I'm going. Anyways, Apex looks good. I'm going to leave it up. And we're going to just keep bouncing back and forth. Pretty soon we'll have like all of them up. And we'll maybe do a vote and see what everybody thinks is the best one. I'm not going to do a poll because that'll be forever to set up and that's annoying. But I do like that they have lots of pairs. I like this Apex. Apex looks good. So since now that we've determined that Apex looks pretty good, let's take a look. 77.7 million in market cap. The only thing that I don't like is that it's been out for a long time, and that really doesn't mean anything other than I think some people will just pass it by because it's been out for a while. Let's go to the lows and highs on it. So all-time high, $3.83. All-time low, 11 cents. And that was over 2 years ago, and it's up 400% from the all-time low. And it has an Ethereum and Arbitrum contract. I don't think we said that yet. And let's move over. So we got Orderly. That would be the next one here. And let's go right to our categories and see what we're talking about. Smart contract, layer 2, perpetuals, DeFi, and then the rest are all portfolios. It is Ethereum contract. Oh, it's got a lot of contracts. Polygon, Arbitrum, Base, Solana, Optimism, BNB Smart Chain. It's at 67.4 million, and it's getting a little bit of a pump. It's actually up on its max chart, which is nice to see. August 25th, 2024. So it's been around a little bit, but not a crazy amount of time. Watchman says, I like some Christian rock, like Skillet for the gym. Hey, that's cool. I definitely love some Christian rap at the gym sometimes. But it's not ego rap, you know what I mean? It's not for ego lifting, but it's good vibes. I like it. Cool, I'm a person of peace and feel the peace here. Well, I'm glad that you see that you feel the peace here. I try to keep this as genuine, almost like we were all just hanging out, right? Like if we were all at my house and I had a big flat screen TV hooked up to, you know, a computer as a monitor, and we were just chilling doing this together. You know, I don't want to make it so lackadaisy that people just tune out, because I want it to be informative. I want us to learn, but we're here for 2 hours, right? I don't want to be like, you know, drill sergeant or just, hey, look at me, all of this nonsense, because I really set out to build a community of people who, you know, we all come together and share our information. And so far it's been great. The chat has been great. Matter of fact, if you're not in the Discord, please hop in the Discord, because we're doing what we're doing in the chat here is kind of what I want to keep rolling all the time in the Discord. And then people who are coming all the time, you guys can get to know each other as well, and you guys can link up and talk about the things you guys want to talk about, and out of those conversations can come gems, you know. So Blues Guy says, music is appropriate, very soothing, chilling, yes, and I'm playing blues. I bet. You are the blues guy. I love me some blues music for sure. So it says, yeah, I want to do that with my brothers one day. Turn on a big projector with the charts up. Exactly. And matter of fact, if everybody would just drop in the comments where you are in the world, you don't have to be real specific. I don't need your zip code or anything like that, or your address, but just where are you from? Or where are you living? Where you're from could be very different. But see where anybody's living. If anybody's in Florida, that's where I'm located. If you close to me, maybe we could link up sometime. I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, my mentor moved all the way from Michigan to Florida after years of watching him. So it can happen. You can meet people in real life and hang out with them that, you look up to. I'm not saying you look up to me. I'm not trying to make it weird. So Watchman says he's from Maryland. Pablo says he's joining the Discord now. Greatly appreciate that. I love to see the chat in the Discord. It's getting more and more active every day. So $52.4 million in market cap for this Gains Network. Now, if that's not a name for a great project, I don't know what is. Gains Network. And it has an infinite max supply. So right there, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I hate infinite max supplies. It can work for certain things, but it makes tokenomics hard. Hopium Days from Portland, Oregon says volume is good. Thank you. I appreciate people saying that and telling me about the volume because I can't hear it. I don't want the echoing going on. So we have Ape Chain, Base, and Arbitrum. And we have all-time high of $12.48. All-time low of 26 cents. Okay. I mean, the max chart is green. I do love to see that. But when is it from? From 2001. I mean, if you have a max chart from 2001 and you are still green on your max chart, I mean, that almost deserves a round of applause. I need like how Sam has the laugh track. I need like the round of applause track for that one because that is pretty good. So Blues Guy says Alberta, Edmonton, soon to be the 51st state. I hope so. Then I could come visit you without having to do a passport, right? And Pablo says North Carolina. Nice. I have a ton of family in North Carolina. I don't go there very often, but I've been there for sure. I've done a ton of traveling between Florida and Maine because my grandparents have a log cabin up in Maine where I'd spend pretty much every summer. Because the area that I am originally from here in Florida is rough. And so they didn't want me there, over the summer because, it gets hot in the summer and people get a little crazy. So Bridgelord says Florida too. That's cool, man. What part of Florida? And how long have you been watching? Because I don't see you comment much, but you might be somebody who's just hanging out in the background. Love to see you actually commenting. I don't know if you've been here multiple streams or if today's your first day, but welcome in. We appreciate everybody who comes here and deep dives with us. So this is Gains Network. Now let's go to start trading. I just want to see the platform. All right. I see the different pairs they have. And the platform is to be expected. So they flip the market orders and everything long and short and put it on the left side. Kind of like that. Except move it away from the order book, right? Or this is actually the pairs. I don't even see an order book. All right, very interesting. What does it say we're on? Bitcoin dGen.USD? Okay, so I could switch to that. Swip? Making up new words. All right. So whatever Bitcoin dGen is, I am not familiar. Whoa, you can 500x on Bitcoin dGen. I don't even know what it is. Bitcoin to the US dollar. Okay, I got you. Oh, I want to see the other pairs, guys. Come on, let me see them. All right, here we are. And I just want to scroll. I just want to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and there'd be lots of coins. What was that other stuff? I saw like British flags. Okay, so we got the JPY. Okay. Looks like there's some, you know, TradFi type stuff on here. I love to see that. I have a friend who trades a ton of stock market and stuff like that, and he's always telling me to do it, and I just don't even know where to trade it, and I'm also not that interested. McDonald's is on here. You could trade McDonald's? Get out of here. I like this exchange. This is pretty cool. You got the SPY USD. Got a lot of quick links across the top. Pablo says cool. Yeah, very interesting. I also be saying stuff and then looking at the chat. I forget about the delay. I got to figure out if I can shorten the delay a little bit. The delay is like, I don't know, it might be 30 seconds. I don't know what the delay is here, but it feels much longer than that. It feels like 3 or 4 minutes, but I don't think it is. So again, we just added another one to the list. We'll start all the way from Woo. So here's Woo. Here's Sinfi, or Sinfi, or Sin Futures. I don't know why I'm calling it Fi. Sin Futures. Apex. I'm just making stuff up. And then we have Gains Network. All right, let's keep going. Trador, or Trade Door. I think that's what they're going for there. Not Trador, but Trade Door. The door to trading. So September 4th, 2025. This thing is pretty new. $41.3 million in market cap. I'm surprised we haven't seen this trending at all. It's up 281%. It's not crazy. Maybe we have seen this. BNB Smart Chain. We got DeFi, derivatives, Perpetual, Telegram app, trading bot, and the Binance Alpha Spotlight. All right. Let's go to their website. See what the product looks like. They want to know if I'm a human. I'm surprised none of these other ones have done this. And how's everybody doing? We're rolling into our second hour of streaming. Anybody who is hopping in, I greatly appreciate you being here. Like, share, subscribe. Discord in the description. Hop in the Discord. And yeah, I see that YouTube just fed us an influx of people. We're talking about decentralized exchanges. Maybe you've seen MYX, Avantis, or Aster pumping right now, and you're wondering what is the next one. We've got a few to put on your radar. If you're just now hopping in, I highly encourage you to go back and watch this. But if you're not going to, I will tell you SYN Futures is one that we are heavily looking at. I put out a video about Lighter, which hasn't launched yet, but is in the same vein of these projects, and I think will do really well. I think you'll be seeing that everywhere at some point. I said cool about going to Maine like 4 minutes ago, LOL. Yeah, I didn't know what you meant, but I do love it up there. It's great in the summer. I've never been there in the winter, right? As many years of my life as I've been there, I've never been there. And I'm actually from Florida, and I've never seen snow. I don't know why people think that's crazy, but it's Florida. It doesn't snow here. It's not crazy. I just, can't see it if you don't got it, right? Trade crypto with leverage on web, mobile, and Telegram. So is this decentralized exchange or is this centralized exchange? What was the tag? Well, they don't have either tag on this one. All right, so it's up to us to figure it out. I like how it says trade on the web. Like, what in the AOL dial-up are we talking about here? Trade on the web? Trade on Telegram? That's some odd options. I don't want to trade on the web or Telegram, to be honest with you. I guess you're always on the web, right? You're connected to the internet. Very interesting. So Blue Sky says, you're amazing. I'm having fun hanging out here, bro. I love it, man. I love the enthusiasm. I love good people. And I mean, in my whole life, I've always been that way. I'm a people person, 1000%. That's why it's nothing for me to sit here and just talk for like 2 hours. Although I've never been like an overly talkative person. Most of my life, I was more like the quiet person who just listened to everybody, kind of felt them out before I kind of opened up. But, that's when you're a kid and stuff. I ain't that way no more. But a very people person, so I'm glad you're having a great time, Blues brother. I'm glad to connect, and I'm glad that you're part of the community. And I'm not just saying that because I'm building a YouTube channel. It'll take time before people maybe trust that about me, but I'm not really that way. I'm not out for money. Of course, everybody wants money, right? We all want to make money. I'd love to be the best crypto YouTuber and make tons of money, but that's not my ambition. Matter of fact, I think that's why most people fail in YouTube and stuff, is they're so concerned about making a dollar. The road on YouTube is very long, and you're not going to make money if that's all you care about. You'll burn out way too early. So Trapdoor was trending a couple of times last week before Aster and Avantis sucked all the liquidity. Okay, very interesting. And so we're here on their actual product. Again, comparing it across the line. What do we notice is really different? So I do notice that most of the time your limit and buy orders on the right. And yeah, almost always. And then one of them, they threw it on the left over here on Gains Network. Kind of like that. And Trapdoor, it's over on the right again. Trapdoor does look clean. It doesn't feel cluttered. Like sometimes they feel really cluttered. This one's not so bad. This one kind of feels cluttered to me. I mean, you just got stuff everywhere. I don't know. That kind of throws me off a little bit. I would use an exchange like that and not even think about it. But once I pull them all up and I'm comparing them, then it's a little different. So Blues Guy says, snow is beautiful, but Snowbo SUX big time. But snow sucks big time. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I always tell people who are shocked that I've never seen snow that, like, I'm not worried about it. None of the stories people tell me about snow sound fun at all. They're never about, like, them as a kid building a snow fort. That's not what they tell you. They tell you how much they hate shoveling their driveway. Kind of like us Floridians hate cutting our grass. In the rainy season, you will cut your grass every 3 to 4 days unless you want it to be knee high. And it's hot out there, and it sucks. That's my main complaint being in Florida. So Blues Guy says he just joined the Discord. Nice. Glad to see you make it on the way over there. I know there was, you were saying you weren't big into those kind of things, never used Discord. So the fact that you, for our channel, our community, for me, whatever, hopped over and figured it out is awesome, man. I love to see that. And I'll really, appreciate being able to chat with you other times when I'm not live. If you have any questions, it goes for anybody, right? If you have any questions or anything and it's in real time, right? You see something, you're like, oh crap, what is this? I check that Discord quite a bit, unless I'm sleeping or something like that. Or Crypto Lifer is live, then I'm not checking it. But actually, then sometimes I am checking it. But yeah, you can ask in there, and it gives us an outlet to kind of be connected all the time. If I didn't do that, if I'm not live, we're not going to be connected. Also, some point in the future, I have absolutely no date or any time. I'm probably, as the channel blows up, I'm going to make it a couple dollars to get in there. I'll probably grandfather, well, not probably, I'll grandfather a ton of people in. If you're used to being in the community, I'm not going to try to make you pay. But as we get bigger, I want to keep all the bots and stuff out. Charging a couple of dollars, literally $1 or $2, will keep most of the bots out of our trading. There I go, cursing. Haven't decided if I care about cursing on the stream or not. I want it to be family friendly, but whose family is sitting around doing this research? I want to think people would do that, but that doesn't sound like a family event. Quanto. I believe this was brought up. Yeah, this was actually brought up on... Oh, that's funny. This is what I wrote down from the live stream this morning over on the Lifers channel. $36.2 million in market cap. Says, hey, Bo. I think he means no. With the grass, I rather cut the grass every 3 days than shovel 4 times a day when it's snowing. You got a good point there. I mean, the grass only can grow so fast. Here in the north, snow season is a long time. Yeah. Well, the good thing about the grass is it never winds up on top of your car, never winds up in my driveway. It doesn't block me in my house. It might grow really fast, but I can cut it at my own convenience. Okay, so Quanto used to be OX.Fun, and it rebranded to Quanto. I'm glad they did because, I don't know, that name seems kind of stupid. That's just my opinion. And since then, it is just absolutely ripped, right? And now, is it ripping because people at first didn't, move over to the new coin, and then all of a sudden people moved over to the new coin, and so that shot a bunch of liquidity in? I don't really know. Or is this new people buying in? It's only got $36.2 million in its market cap. All-time high was, 6 cents? Like 6.5 cents. And then 0.004, less than a penny, was its all-time low, and it would be up 725% from there. And when was it? 6 days ago. Hold up. So this thing's up like 7x in the last 6 days? That's dope. And we said it had been around since July 10th, 2025. And of course, it makes sense. Look at this big rippage right there. Let's go to the 7-day chart. Yeah, and you can see this a little bit more clearly. Big pump there. And yeah, very small market cap. Let's go to their website and see what we think about the product, though, because that becomes really important. Have I said that enough? The trading platform for all trading. Of course it would say that. Trading is fragmented today, but it doesn't need to be. Is it fragmented? We only have like 18 different exchanges that we've been looking at. Doesn't seem fragmented at all. So trading is fragmented today, but it doesn't need to be. For the first time, deposit any asset, trade everything with the leverage, and earn yield, all on the seamless exchange. I mean, that feels like every exchange, honestly. I'm glad they're doing their thing, but that doesn't sound like anything I can't get somewhere else. Okay, smooth. I like it. I definitely like it. Can we do some moving around? I do a lot of time get rid of the order book. I have a book map. I don't have a link for it or anything like that, but if you're familiar with Sam's channel, you know what book map is. It's a heat map for liquidity, and I use that over this order book stuff. But can I get rid of it? If I was using this exchange, I'd want to just get rid of that. Can I move this over? All right, it's not letting me move stuff around. That is lose a couple points there. Let's look at the different pairs that we have. Ooh, Tibber. Tibber's on here. Tibber is not something I'm super bullish on or anything. I just see a lot of people talking about it. I believe it's an AI agent. XPL we talked about. Quanto, of course, they have their own token. Drift is on here. Aster, Avant. I like that they have the other exchange tokens on there. Sorry, I gotta crack my neck. Getting stiff. Being in the same position. Alright, we're caught up on chats. Got useless coin. Not real big on useless coin. I think worthless coin is gonna do a lot better. Moonshot.fun. Is that what it is? Anyways, the Moonshot app that I see it advertised on Telegram a lot as well. And that app, I think, is going to bring a lot of people into crypto, meme coins and stuff. Mostly junk that they probably shouldn't be buying, right? Grass. Right here is the project that I'm always talking about. Zora. Very disappointing as far as the social media. Merrill. If you know, you know about the Merrill BTC exchange. So yeah, it's cool stuff. I love to see you got broccoli. I mean, Quanto has a lot of tokens. Look at this. Peanut, DogeGov, HBAR, Beam. I mean, I'm just randomly picking coins here. So, and it just keeps going. So one thing I got to give Quanto points on is the amount of things that they have to trade. Because if I was going to start using one of these exchanges all the time over everything, I mostly trade Bitcoin, but I would like it to have a ton of different pairs. So if I want to hop into something, I can. Was very tempted to hop into Lifer's Aster trade today. I don't know how it's doing. It's probably pumping because that's all it's done, but I just feel like I already missed it. KYC using Quanto. Apologize for that. Eyelashes. So you should, Nilo, you shouldn't have to. That's kind of the thing about a decentralized exchange is you just link a wallet. So I don't really think that they're going to give you much of a hard time KYC. Now, I don't know because I haven't linked a wallet. But I feel like the minute they start forcing you to KYC is the minute they kind of lose me, because we're talking about decentralized technology, blockchain technology, which is very much the original ethos of decentralization is freedom, right? And not the hierarchy. And that is the whole thing about, even in the video I made about Lighter, we talked about the regulator. How are they going to get around the regulator? I think a lot of times they're just going to operate outside of America, and you need to use a VPN to kind of pass the smell test. Like if we hop over to another one of these charts, I know one of them said it. Here's the SYN futures. It says user located in a restricted jurisdiction, meaning they're not going to allow me to use it. I'm sure if I threw a VPN on and reloaded it, I could probably use it. So I don't worry too much about KYC. All right. And where else? It's got a really small market cap. It might be worth a chance, right? Not financial advice. All right, what are we missing here? Is there anything anybody said that I haven't brought up? If you mentioned something in the chat and I haven't gone over it, feel free to throw it up there again. The trade on Aster reached $2.43. Okay. Did you get a piece of that, Blues guy? Let's look at Bluefin. The heck is that? At this point, as we get lower, I'm just going to start looking at when things came out. December 10th, 2024. Oh, this is on SWE. Well, there's a narrative that I haven't seen. As you notice, most of these are on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain. Maybe you see something with Base or Arbitrum, but most of the time they're not. This is very much like exclusively on SWE. So I will write that down just because it's on SWE and I like SWE. Hopefully it's going to do well. Now, what a lot of people said is with the new upgrade for Solana, it's much faster than everything else. So they're saying, oh, that makes SWE, not needed. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Is that going to kill SWE? I don't know. Maybe SWE comes out with an update too. Because a lot of times they copy each other's technology. You appear to be accessing from a restricted region. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that coming. Oh, wow. So everything they have is pretty much SWE related, I should say. But not very much stuff. So that's one thing I gotta take some points away. Is that Walrus, DeepBook. Walrus, I know what it is, but it's not something I really care about. DeepBook is one that I am expecting to do some numbers if we ever get altcoin season, that is. And it is like DeepBook is like Aerodrome is to Base blockchain. Keep my thoughts straight. And then Avalanche, Black Hole, is kind of the same idea on Avalanche. We'll leave that up. All right. Kill the website. And we're getting into the nitty gritty. This is the smaller stuff here. So let's see. Do I have crypto rank up still? I do. One thing I wanted to do, just for anybody who's here, is that Lighter, one of the things is they say confirmed airdrops. And when we click on confirmed airdrops, it's on crypto rank, so you can easily go look at this yourself. You come on down, and it just starts immediately talking about farming points, right? So Lighter is promising decentralized exchange at the stage of private beta test. The project is currently running a campaign to farm points. Go to the Discord, pass verification, and get an invitation code. So this is how you get your invitation code to use it, right? Go to the website, connect your wallet, and register. I don't know if that means KYC or not. Click create account and make a deposit. So put some money in. Trade activity to earn points. So trade. Track your progress on the leaderboard. The project does not disclose the mechanics of the actual point accrual, how you get them. 250,000 points are distributed every week. The most points can be earned for liquidations and trading volume based on feedback. You have to earn 100 points to invite new members and go and start earning points. So this is how their airdrop or their points program is working. I like how it says you earn the most points for liquidation. So if I get liquidated, I earn the most points. Like if I give them my money, I hope they give me some points. That's really interesting. Just wanted to say that while we were on the stream. That is what is going to be in my video. So Blues Guy said, I did get a piece of that trade, but my ego took over. LOL, thinking I can get more out of it. So does that mean that you turned around and gave it back? Did you give your gains back? I've done it plenty of times. Don't beat yourself up. Just try to identify what you did wrong and, you know, do it differently next time. I say that and still do the same thing sometimes over and over. Like when I got caught in that nasty dump for Bitcoin and got liquidated for $100 on that trade. I could have got out of that trade so many times, but I'm so used to Bitcoin catching the bounce. We didn't normally pull back very far. The trend changes. Watch them 200 MAs. It's what I was not doing. And I know better. I definitely know better. But I'm also really busy and wasn't paying full attention. Not a good excuse. That's what a stop loss is for. So Strike is another one. I was looking in Aster and Avantis. I decided to buy a bag of Avantis simply because of its market cap and potential. What is Avantis market cap? It's got to be pretty decent, right? Not like this Strike with 24.5 million in it. It's got a nice little pump. It's up 1,700% on the max chart, and that's only from October 7th, 2024. Most of the price action being recent. Again, not to be repetitive, but how long is this narrative going to go on for? I'm not going to lie. I'm ready for the next narrative. I'm ready for the next thing we're going to do because this is not super exciting to me. Is it cool to make money and go through all of these coins? I love doing deep dive and research. Don't get me wrong. But like, I would much rather be deep diving and researching like, you know, liquidity projects for ecosystems. Something like that is a little more interesting to me. Derivatives, perpetuals, just the same way that like every single one of these, I mean, they look the same. How do you really pin all of these projects against each other? I don't know. How do you choose the best one? I mean, there's definitely things that we get into and talk about, but at some point it becomes a little repetitive. All right, this takes you just straight into it. Nice and big. I like how the chart is big. Not cluttered, not a ton of stuff here. Let's look at their, okay, they are very limited on their pairs. They're probably adding more. It's been around for a while, but it seems like they're just now starting to get some traction. You can go all the way up to some 30x leverage here for ADA. They don't have Bitcoin? Is this in the Cardano ecosystem? Is that what's going on here? I don't recognize the contract address. Is it its own layer 1? Oh, is that the Cardano symbol? Is this a Cardano project? I don't know why I don't recognize the symbol, but it's probably just because it's so small. I think it is a Cardano symbol. Only 25 million in the max supply. I do like that. 18 million out. All right. So, BP Kohler. I'm just going to call you Kohler. Well, I guess I'm better late than never. Cool channel, bro. Hey, we're just getting started as far as if you mean you just found us. Did you just find the channel? I appreciate you dropping a comment and saying something. A lot of people are scared to do that for some reason. So MVP status, MVP points to anybody who hops in and drops a comment. And thanks, man. This is what we do, deep dive research. I just put out a pre-record video about Lighter. If you're one of the people who's very into this whole MYX, Avantis, Aster, decentralized exchange narrative that's running right now. It's on fire right now. Lighter is supposed to come out at some point. They're in a private beta, and I just made a full video about that. I'm not sure if that's what you're here for, but I figured I'd throw that out there because I spent way too long making that video. So I got to shill it, right? I need people to watch that video. Aster, 2.5 billion. Okay. Not a small market cap. So here's the thing, like, you could start maybe looking at, like, we did the Sin futures and the Strike and a couple other coins we looked at. They have really small market caps, but there are tons of them. I mean, if we go back to the list, I mean, my goodness, there are tons of them. Strike looks like it is on the Cardano ecosystem, so that might make it a little bit unique. I don't know if anything's really going on over on the Cardano ecosystem. We have any Cardano maxis in here? And I'm just scrolling to show you, like, dude, there are so many projects. We could be here for another 2 hours if we really wanted to continue this. Maybe somebody could put in the Discord if they want a second stream about this. And we are always looking at what's trending. So if something's trending out of that category, we'll definitely be looking at it. Now, I just remembered a project that I said I would look at. And so I definitely have to. And that is that PQ. And I remember the last time I looked at it, I was impressed with it. I remember thinking I thought I knew what this project was, and now I don't think I knew what it was at all. So Pablo says, I like Avantis, lower market cap, unique options, also on base, which I think is going to make it go much higher. Well, that's good speculation. I kind of agree with everything that you're saying there. Or to say it a different way, I don't really disagree with anything that you're saying. And so Avantis might be one of them. Blues Guy says 555 million for Avantis. Yeah, much smaller Avantis is. And that is probably going to make it more attractive as well. Again, I know I keep saying this and I apologize, but how long is that narrative going to run? Because what I think is a lot of people are going to run into it at the end and they're going to get washed. It happens every time. The narrative will be over at some point, even if it's just the bear market. Even if that's just when the bear market sets in and everything get washed. Okay, so $153.1 million in PQ. Market cap. We have smart contracts, layer 1, DPIN, outlier, venture portfolio. I usually don't read the portfolios. Robotics, that's right. It had to do with robotics. And Binance Alpha Spotlight. So does that mean it's going to win? This is incubated by Binance. Go to their website. The machine economy computer. So PQ exists to underpin the age of abundance, ensuring that AI, mechanics, robots, and automation benefits all humans. I don't know why they didn't go with humanity there, but we'll take it. Use apps built on PQ. Earn from devices, robots, and machine-generated real value. Join Peak's global community. The machine economy stack. So you have machines, under that you have apps, then you have machine economy, OS protocol level, standards and framework, and then you just have computer, the Peak blockchain, and compute and coordination layer. I don't know what a layer is. And then I think what I was mostly impressed about this is that they already had applications that seemed to be providing real value is a better way to say it. Built on their ecosystem, which is pretty cool. So Blues Guy says, so everyone is talking about the trend. I hear in the background many folks talking that Flare Network is about to be huge because of the FXRP token able to stake XRP. That seems pretty good, ? Any thoughts? Brother Underground, Under G. I like Under G, that's pretty cool. So I have only heard whispers about it, but I would. Flare is connected to XRP, right? Flare was airdropped because you held XRP. I held XRP. At that point, I think it was all on like Uphold or something. So I don't think they ever gave me my Flare. So a little disappointed with that. So I didn't get Flare as far as I know, unless it's sitting somewhere and I don't know about it. So yeah, that's disappointing. But yeah, if you can stake it, I mean, I could see people running into it, but wouldn't it be more people who already had Flare because they held XRP and they got airdropped some Flare? I mean, aside from, and we can look at Flare next, aside from getting airdropped it, why would you want to buy it? I don't know. Flare, I know what it is, I've heard of it, but it's been a while since I went over it, so I'm not exactly sure what makes it, you know, something you'd want to own. Because why wouldn't you just own XRP? But it could be a very speculative play if it's much lower in market cap and stuff. So that's on the table too. The robots are here. Why does the world need PQ? And this is all in the tech. AI, robots. Robotics, I should say. That's a little bit more accurate. And you could learn, you could build. You got the portal. Let's go to the portal. Reject all cookies. No, thank you. So you got staking, bridging, and a DApp directory. So you can get 3% APR. Interesting. Here are different nodes that you can stake with. I want to put them in categories by one. One of them gets 3%. They're all pretty consistent, other than just a handful of them get a little extra. This gets 3.24%. And maybe that's what we're going to do. Maybe we're just going to stake our crypto through the bear market because we never get an altcoin season. And I'll go to Flare next, Blue Sky, and we'll take a quick look at it just so that we're up to date. Do a lot of deep diving and research, but sometimes you just got to brush up on some stuff. So I'm going to do this real quick for the last time, and then we'll kind of X out all these tabs because they're probably sucking a lot of bandwidth right now. Oh, wow, they're completely reloading. So this is WooFi. This is their interface, the word I've been looking for the entire stream. And then this was Sin Futures, which I have to admit I like a lot. And they did have the toggle between light and dark. This is Apex. Apex Omni, to be very specific. And it looks pretty cool. I like the yellow and black. It reminds me of MYX. This is Gains Network. Looks functional. I think the interface could use a little bit of work, but they have like McDonald's and SPY and stuff. So as far as like being able to trade everything you want to trade, you see something pumping, you want to get in on some leverage or something, pretty cool. You can get 50x leverage on McDonald's. I don't live in the world of stocks. I've never been big into it. If you've heard my story about how I got into crypto, you know I've dabbled a little bit, but I've left that world a long time ago. Trador, simple, not cluttered. Let's see, 100x leverage on Bitcoin, so it's cooling, but I don't know. They start all looking the same a little bit. Here's Quanto. Can't tell me that doesn't look a lot like Trador, except for it looks more cluttered, honestly. And I believe we looked at it and it had tons and tons and tons and tons of pairs. So that was good. I like Quanto as far as how it looks and all the pairs it has. And I believe it to be one of the much smaller by Coinbase, or by market cap by Coinbase. What does that even mean? Am I getting tired? I don't think so, but maybe I am. Bluefin is all about SWI. They didn't really have a lot of pairs. It was pretty much all SWI related stuff. So if you just are a SWI maxi and you only want to trade Walrus and Deepbook or Solana, I guess, I think that's a big letdown on their part, and they should get some more pairs before anybody's going to care about that. Then you had Strike Finance, which is like the Bluefin but for Cardano. It's all Cardano stuff. So that's very Snack, ADA, you know, and Strike their own coin. What else do they really have here? Minotaur and whatever WMXT is, I'm not familiar with. All right, so I'm going to exit all those out, but I really wanted to have them kind of side by side. But the exchange itself, I love the big chart, the simple, non-cluttered, just, you know, straight into your longs and shorts. I like the layout a lot for Strikeforce. All right, let's close all of these out. All right, I needed that mentally on these tabs here. So we talked about PQ. What is the takeaway from PQ? They're doing their things and they have an economy and people are building on their platform. One thing I wanted to do actually is go to their DApp directory, because that's where we're going to see the whole economy. Blues Guy says, I have seen Hugo, who is co-founder, talking about it and should be live within a few days. I was curious. The idea of gaining XRP by owning it and making money seems cool. Yeah, so you're staking Flare and you're generating XRP. That's pretty cool, actually. Welcome to the PQ system. I mean, if you got a bunch of Flare, and again, I don't think I got Flare for whatever reason, because I was holding on Uphold, and I think Uphold stole everybody's Flare. Is what it is. I don't remember Coinbase giving me my Flare either. I don't actually know if I owned it at that time on there. So Pablo says, wow, Apex pumped today. Did it? I guess we need to hop back over to that real quick, right? And you see how this stream could go on all day? Do I need to start at noon? How many of you guys would sit here day after day for 6-7 hours? Y'all would be Einstein IQ level in crypto. We all would. But that's a lot to ask. Don't get me wrong. That's a little demanding. Not that anybody is having their arm twisted to be here, but yeah, that's a lot. So yeah, it did pump. So the 23rd. So starting in the 23rd, we pumped from like 23, 24 cents all the way to where we are now at 62 cents. And it's still under 100 million market cap. Well, with that kind of movement, could it be the next chosen one? Because that's a lot of times what it feels like, right? The venture capital, the big money, they have deals. Maybe it's who they know. I don't know what it is that makes them choose what they choose, because there are a lot of them to choose from, like we just went over. And why would they want to choose Apex? How long has Apex been around? It's been around for a while. April 26, 2022. Yep. So Blues Guy says, I think it's more like owning XRP and staking it into the Flare network, as there are no legit places where you can stake XRP yet. All the other coins but XRP. Okay, I didn't really think about that, but I guess you're right. There isn't really anywhere to stake XRP. I haven't really thought about it. I know I probably should stake a lot of my coins that I hold, but I don't. I do stake some things. Coinbase staking makes it really simple. I have my Solana staked. I think the reason why I mostly don't stake is because a lot of times the process, especially originally, a lot of it was liquidity pools and stuff like that. And the process, sometimes when it was over and I got my pairs, I got my money back, it felt like it wasn't what I was supposed to get. And that really annoyed me. And then also sometimes it can take several days to unlock and give you your, ability to sell, buy, whatever. And I think I kind of just don't like that. But when you're rolling through whole bear markets and stuff, I probably won't have anything to stake because I'll probably sell. I'll be staking USDC on Coinbase for 4% or something like that, because I'm not going to want to hold crypto when we hit a bear market. And that's assuming we get bear market like traditionally we have gotten a bear market, right? All right, let's go over to Flare, because now you got me real interested, Blues Guy. I love the community. Everybody being involved keeps us just moving. And Sarcasm BTC, if you're around, the stuff you brought up yesterday was really cool. I still haven't got to watch those videos. I am going to make sure that I watch them. That putting together that lighter, sorry, I keep wanting to call it lighter video really took up way too much of my time. 2 billion in Flare, infinite market cap. That's not my favorite. Go to the Flare network. So the blockchain for data. Flare is a fully stacked layer 1 solution designed for data intensive use case. And I need something to drink. Still 15 people hanging out, man. I appreciate everybody who's still here. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream and raising your crypto IQ. Anybody? Well, let me put it this way. Drop in the comments something that you've learned since you've been coming to this stream. Could be anything. Could be about atomic swaps or bridges. I bring that up a lot. That's what I learned, right? That would be what I would comment. But just throw in the comments something that you learned from this stream that you feel like made you more intelligent about crypto. Probably a terrible way to say that, right? As I talk about intelligence, that you feel raised your crypto IQ, so that anybody here who's watching could maybe read that and understand why they should keep coming back to the stream. Also, I just kind of want to know what people soaked up. So here is kind of a diagram representation of, I guess, Flare network. So enshrined data protocol. So what's the takeaway? Flare is all about data. Let's go to their categories while we're at it. Smart contract, layer 1, that's really it. And they're in somebody's portfolio, and that's it. Hopium Days says there are way too many crypto projects to be involved with all of them. Yeah, I feel that. And that's why like things come out and people are like, oh, you didn't buy some? And it's like, how many days are in your year? No, I'm just kidding. How much capital, you know? How must you keep on the sideline? Like, I mean, unless you're wealthy and you just have millions and millions of dollars, but you know, a lot of us bought the things we wanted to buy, you know? It was in the bear market, or it was when the bull market was starting to heat up. We didn't like not deploy our capital. Maybe you kept a little bit of capital to play around with, to trade with, whatever, but like what was the point of just sitting on capital while things ran? And if you bought in the bear market, you're still up. You know, I think a lot of people forget that because a lot of people are day traders and they're trying to make $1, you know, super fast. And so, yeah, I think the money is made more in the long-term vision. Might have got a little off topic there. Watchman says, I missed the Apex pump. I had my eye on it for like 3 days. Yeah, it happens that fast. It really does. All right, so let's talk about Flare real quick before I get sidetracked into a million conversations. Enshrined data protocols. Flare protocols are integrated into the blockchain's core and inherit the economic security of the entire network. So Ethereum virtual machine, Flare is EVM compatible with the out of the box. I thought I was going to say ins and outs. Out of the box support for all your favorite tooling. Flare stake. Flare uses a proof of stake mechanism to ensure a significant and consistent level of economic security. New use cases actually. Securely explore XRP Fi, Bitcoin Fi, BTC Fi, and Doge Fi. Doge Fi, not something I hear about a lot. Are they building over on Doge? I hope so. I have a bunch of Doge. I remember buying Doge at 0.002. Good times. So, reliably across external blockchain events and real-world APIs, FTSO, easily integrate fast, secure, and decentralized price feeds. And it's all about data. What is that? What is that? Looks like a piece of candy or medicine or something, or maybe like a cell in a human body. I don't know what that is, but it threw me off. Vivo Power and Flare launch definitive strategic partnership to deploy US $100 million in XRP for institutional yield. So Pablo says the abundance of new DEX protocols and the trend will end, therefore don't marry your bags. Exactly. That is exactly, Pablo, what I've been trying to say when I constantly say, how long is that narrative going to go on? My crypto intuition tells me everybody is going to just get to the point where they think it's never going to stop, and then it'll just die immediately on a dime. And everybody will just be left holding. All the projects will be dumping. It'll be ridiculous. People will be trying to buy the dip. And who knows, that might run all the way to the end of the market. Like, we really, according to the 4-year cycle, don't have that much time to the end of the market. So 67% Flare staked, of which 80% is from the community. I can't click on it though. Build on Flare. Participate in the Flare Fair, the one-step DeFi carnival. What is that? I want to know about the Flare Fair. That sounds dope. Claim rewards. I didn't do anything though. Can I still get some rewards? Watchman says the rebranding thing with Apex made me think it wasn't gonna get attention anymore. Now I'm getting confused. Which one is the rebrand? Is it Apex or APX? Like I said, I was confusing them for a day or two. I mean, you could see how I would. So, Watchman, I might have said this in the Discord, and I greatly apologize, but Apex with the E is not the rebrand from Aster. That is APX. I don't remember which one that you would actually put in the Discord. You might have said Apex, and I might have looked at it a little bit too quickly. But APX is the ticker before Aster, where APEX is the project, and I'll pull it up right now, that we were just looking at. That had the black and yellow, and it looks like a gorilla as the mascot, and is a totally different project. APEX looks pretty good, or Apex. And I will pull it up just for a second here, so you might remember the actual product. And I apologize, Watchmen, if I mixed you up on that. We all make mistakes sometimes. So yeah, this is Apex. Yeah. I mean, you could see how you get confused. It's just one letter different. And at that time, I was not familiar with the APEX token at all. So I didn't even know that there was another token that was that close in the same market. But I'm glad we cleared that up. Better late than never. Greatly apologize if it caused you to miss any kind of opportunity or not hit the button. All good, it'll flag out soon. That's the life revision. That's what I'm talking about. In a mystical wonderland of whispers and light, Flare Fair offers a fun and real degen gains for all. So Flare drop, RFLR treasures, join now. What in the world is that thing? Boy, that thing looks like a demon. I'm good on that. What is Flare Fair about? Yeah, what is it about? On-chain event of the season. Earn rewards when you engage with Flare DeFi dApps, features, and fun zone. In the fun zone, how do I start? Get USDTO, too many stable coins, on Flare, and bridge USDC ETH with Flare with Stargate. Well, that sounded way too complicated right off the bat. Then provide liquidity on SparkDEX, Kinetic, or deposit USDX. How many different stable coins are we going to use? We're at 3 now. To the Clearpool T-Pool. Check out the steps here. I'm already good on that. That was way too complicated. I mean, I could figure it out. Don't get me wrong. But to the average person, who the heck is going to go through that many steps? Maybe that means we'll get all of the airdrops. Get flare drops. You can vote. But can you stake? Where's the staking? I was hoping we were going to find out something about staking. Participate. Wallets on and off ramps. Get flare drops. Stake and delegate. That's where we want to go. Boost your rewards by delegating or staking your FLR. Delegate or stake via the Flare protocol. See if we're up to date on our chats here. Talking of Flare, I'm looking at the chart. It's about to pump. It probably is. That doesn't surprise me at all. I'm not pumping Flare, by the way. I do not mean to bombard the chat. No, you're good, dude. I love the activity in the chat. And, you know, there's not enough of us here to pump Flare anyways. And if it's something like I want people in the community to talk about what they're passionate about. Like, I want people to say, I'm all about, you know, XRPL ecosystem. That's all I care about because XRP got me into crypto, you know, something like that. And so that's all I'm going to talk about. And then they could just talk all the time about XRPL. But when XRPL started heating up or you saw a project, who are you going to go to, you know, in the community? You're going to go find them and say, hey, where's that XRPL guy? Let me ask him about this project. Let me ask him about that project. So it really has its advantages. Feel free to talk about what you're passionate about openly. If for some reason it seems like shilling or it's annoying, I'll tell you. What's annoying is when somebody just keeps saying the same ticker over and over. Obviously, we're too small of a channel. That doesn't really happen. But on Lifer's channel, you see it. Somebody's just like, talk about this coin, this coin, this coin. And they don't even say anything of any value. They just keep like putting the ticker over and over and over again. That's shilling. And honestly, I would probably let somebody do that in here for a minute just to drive up all the comments because it's good for the algorithm. So, Okay, we went to delegation versus staking. So what's the difference between delegating and staking? This is a good IQ moment here that I'm here for this. So delegators receive a share of the rewards earned by data providers they have delegated to. I read that, but it didn't touch home at all. Delegators receive a share of the rewards earned by the data providers they have delegated to. So they're going to delegate to data providers, and those people are getting rewards, and then you're getting a share of that reward. Okay, the more accurate a data provider submission and the larger the number of tokens delegated to them, the more rewards they will receive and are able to share with their delegator. Hopefully you followed that. Now, stakers can delegate their stake to validators. So it's kind of like a similar process, but it's different. With stakers, you have validators. With delegators, you have data providers. Okay, so stakers can delegate their stake to validators on the network. Staked FLR is locked for a period of time. Participation, I was going to say participants, choose how much stake to delegate and for how long their stake will be locked. Very interesting. Why do I still have these glasses on? I don't actually wear glasses, everybody. I feel like they make me look smart. And we're talking about crypto and crypto IQ, so I just started wearing them. And kind of tired of wearing them. So rewards. And this kind of breaks it down from delegate to stake. Do apologize. I do have like a 9-month-old baby. And she is being kind of loud. I don't know if anybody can hear it, but we're going to power through that. Luckily, this mic doesn't pick a lot of it up. So rewards pay out roughly every 3.5 days for delegate and roughly every 2 weeks. So delegation, you're actually getting paid out a lot more often. Qualify for airdrops. They both qualify for airdrops. So why they exist. So support Flare infrastructure. Both of them support Flare infrastructure. But who? So delegation is supporting data providers and staking is supporting validators. Why though? For the FTSO, whatever that means. I should probably know what that means, but I don't. Validation of all Flare protocols. So obviously the staking, the why is because it helps, the transactions become validated. For validators. Effort required. Automated claiming support. Data providers must manually claim rewards. Community can use auto claiming. So if you can auto claim, that doesn't seem that difficult. And I'll get back in the chat in just a second. Let me finish this. Minimum. No minimum amounts of duration. 50K Flare per validator. Minimum 14 days. So if you stake, you got to lock it at least 14 days. And timelines, unclaimed rewards will be burned after 90 days. Well, that sucks. So if you don't claim your rewards for delegating, you lose them after 90 days. And currently no time limit, but maybe a time in the future. And so that's the difference between delegation and staking. That's not what I thought I was going to get into right now. Let's go to how to stake. Is it blank? How to stake is blank. What? I'm like, is my internet messing up? This is how to delegate. And again, you could come to this yourself if you really want to set this up. Okay, how to claim rewards, how to stake. Bro, how is the how to stake blank? Why even have a page that says how to stake and you don't tell us how to stake? Man, that was anticlimactic. All right, let's hop into the chat and see what's going on. So we talked about Blues Guy, Pump and Flare, no big deal, man. You're just talking about what you're passionate about, no big deal. Watchman 24, I'm going to be locked to Apex for a while. This thing is just starting. You're probably right. Getting above the 200 EMA is bullish. Hope it flags out. Watchman, feel free to share that TA in the main hangout of the Discord. I might even, if people like to share their TA a little bit, I might even throw a separate category to do that in. But if you feel like it, of course, nothing is not going to twist your arm. But if you want to throw that in the group for everybody else, that builds up the community. Just a quick screenshot. Glad I saw Apex on gainers. Baby crying makes it real. I love being a dad. Amen. I got 2 kids, a 7 and 9 month old. 7-year-old, not 7-month-old. So go in the search bar and just type in XRP. Some is that a dot? Yeah, some dot short text should appear. Speaking of XRP staking. So the search bar on what? On Flare? Are you talking about Flare or just in CoinGecko? So we will go to the search bar and we will type in XRP. I don't think that he meant on here, but maybe he did. The 200 MA is the sauce, baby. Yep, it absolutely is. Oh yeah, I love sharing my TA. Please, I will create a channel just for throwing TA into. It'll be there just whenever I finish a stream. So years on Flare. Watchman says, got the skills from Lifer. Dang, I remember when I thought he was crazy. That's funny, Watchman. Yeah. When I first started watching him, I don't know if I thought he was crazy, but I definitely thought I have no idea what's going on. When I first started watching Lifer, my whole thing was I'm just going to keep watching until this stuff starts making sense. And it did. It did start making sense, but it took a little while. So how's everybody feeling at 2 hours and 45 minutes into this stream? Everybody's still here and engaged? It's crazy. You guys are the best. A lot of you are lifers, so I know high quality people when I see them. Lifers are always high quality people. That I have noticed over and over again, especially when we've done meetups and I've got to hang out with some people that are also lifers. Always high quality people. So I feel like I was about to do something. And then, I was trying to figure out what Blues Guy was talking about. Go into the search bar and type XRP. Some dot short text should appear. Speaking of XRP staking. What search bar are you talking about? Are you talking about on Flare? Have you already done this? I think I need to teach him how to play harmonica. That's my instrument, by the way. Well, that's very blues, isn't it? Is that not the most blues thing you've said all night? Harmonicas are dope, though. Who's the more relevant, newer blues artist? What is his name? I saw him live in Florida. What is it? Clark Jr.? I'm sure you know exactly who I'm talking about. So Watchman says, yeah, same. I would be tuned in every day since like November 2023. Yeah, I'm probably somewhere around there myself. I don't really know. When it comes to dates and times, this is something I should probably not say. When it comes to dates and time, I'm terrible, bro. I can't tell you nothing about dates and times. Like somebody would be like, well, how long ago was that? I'd be like, I have absolutely no idea. I still talk about a day ago. I'd be like, oh yeah, the other day. And it was like 2 years ago. My wife gives me crap for it all the time. So Blues Guy said myself. And Pablo says Lifer's MA method is top notch. Not too complicated, it just works. Yeah, I agree. That was probably one of the concepts that I really caught on to the best. Moving average, I feel you. I definitely know what MA is, but for anybody else, they might have needed that. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the whole Blues Guy. Where you at, my man? Still waiting on this whole type in the search bar thing. I don't know why I'm stuck on it. I probably should move on. Speaking of XRP staking. Yeah, not sure exactly where that is. Because I'm on the Flare network and I've typed it in, but I'm not really getting anything. Chipper, what's up, man? We've been streaming for 2 hours and 48 minutes. I'm glad you hopped in. I'm not saying I'm hopping off just yet, but definitely went over a lot of stuff, man. I don't know if you've been lurking in the background. Blues Guy says, there you are. That is it. Okay. So we are here. Maybe I'm just burning out a little bit. And what am I looking for, Blues Guy? I don't know why I'm so lost on this. I feel like Joe Biden wandering around the stage. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing with this? Some dot short text should appear. Speaking of XRP staking. Okay, so I'm looking for XRP staking. I don't see XRP staking unless I'm just completely missing it. XRP meets DeFi on Flare. Bring the XRP back stablecoin to Flare. Building a cross-chain future Flare XRP out commons and easy a hackathon. Don't see anything about staking. I guess I could type staking in. Nothing. What happens if we just type in staking? Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Chipper says, hope is waving to everybody. What's up, Chipper? I appreciate you coming through. Definitely somebody I always remember in the mornings from the Lifer stream. So Pablo says, I got to get some sleep. Really enjoy the stream. Great stuff. No worries, Pablo. We're going to be wrapping this up shortly. We're about to hit 3 hours streaming. These videos just keep getting longer and longer, but I love it. I love everybody being a part of the community. So Chipper says, never got notified. Just checked my sub feed. Make sure you hit the bell notification, everybody. If you're not getting it, now sometimes YouTube just hates on us and doesn't actually send out the videos, but you do want to make sure you hit that bell notification. Then tell them that you want to get all the videos when they come out. And remember, 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's always the same. It's going to be 8 p.m. I don't think I'm going to change it. We were doing 8:30 before, but if we're going to be running 3-hour streams, start earlier is probably better. Blues Guy says, I'll send you the video of the CEO founder interview. Yeah, thank you, Blues Guys. That's the whole power of the Discord. You can send me stuff. I can take a look at it even when we're not live. Obviously, when we're live, I wouldn't have time to watch it necessarily anyways. I noticed no Lindsay Lins tonight. I miss my people when they're not here, although I understand for sure. We are all very busy. All right, so we did the staking thing. So Nosin is a blockchain analytic platform trusted globally by leading funds, DeFi teams, and exchanges. With Nosin, Flare holders can stake in a non-custodial, transparent, and highly efficient way while monitoring performance in real time. So you can stake Flare. Doesn't look like you can stake XRP. What is staking? What is staking? All right. Let's go back to Crypto Bubble, see if anything changed. Simple Chipper, Underground, Under G is live every day like a champ. Absolutely. I want to start doing the weekends. We've been doing Monday through Friday, Chipper, but looks like the weekends are going to be a go as well. Thing is, what time should I do it on the weekend? That's the real question. I'm thinking I'm going to start doing them after the Lifer stream because I certainly don't want to compete with the Lifer stream. Maybe we'll even do them a little bit shorter. I say that, and then I run, hours. But maybe we'll do something more like right after Lifer stream. Give it 10 minutes for me to set up and stuff. And we'll do more of just a deep dive research where I won't give some crazy category or something like that. And it'll be more of a hangout for all of us too. Good night, all. Peace, love, and good trades to all. Later, Pablo. I appreciate you being here. See you in the Discord. I'm glad that you joined today. And again, you're not going to miss much, because we will probably be hopping off here in like 8 or 9 minutes. Just want to go over a couple of things. And all this talk of Flare, of course, it's up 10.9% on the day, but let's go to the hour. Also, let's pull up that. Of course, you can't see it. I'm looking at it. Bitcoin chart, a 15-minute, looks like a head and shoulder pattern, and not inverted either. So Watchman says, oh, I remember why I missed Apex. Was it my fault? Why'd you miss Apex, Watchman? All right. And things starting to turn green here. I think they were a little more red when I looked at this before. And there were some other things that we could look at. I had all the, one day I went and found all of these different really cool things to try to integrate into the stream. And then I just honestly didn't get to using a lot of them. I really needed to sit down and figure a lot of them out more, and I hadn't. Because it's not on BYDFI or WEEX. I can't use the other exchanges it's listed on. Well, can you use one of these decentralized exchanges? And he says, not because of the comment in the Discord. Well, that makes me feel better, Watchman, that I didn't mess you up. I'm supposed to be helping you, not messing you up. I'll be out of town through Tuesday, so don't think I'm skipping on you. Wink. Cool. Hey, I appreciate you letting me know that, Chipper. That's solid of you to let me know you're going to be away, so you're not going to be able to watch. But you are welcome anytime, man. I really appreciate you coming by. And I love the people who are going to be active in the chat, because how this chat looks right now, that's exactly how I want the Discord to look over time. Obviously not in as compact amount of time, but you know, over days and stuff, lots of activity, talking about different things, people talking to each other even as well, all of that stuff. And then I can just eavesdrop on your conversations. Ultimate crypto research tool for social. That sounded weird. I don't like how that sounded at all. I could read your conversations. That doesn't sound as weird. Find new crypto projects early on X. Analyze Twitter accounts and avoid scams. Why am I reading this? Like, I'm so used to doing like website reviews that I was literally like doing a review of that. That's hilarious. I must be getting tired. So look at that. The #1 account. And this is all about Twitter. Is Lighter. Lighter is popping. Hopefully that means my video is going to be popping too. Did I mention I spent way too much time on that video? All right, Lighter. Of course I did. Total followers, 63.8 thousand. They're up 3.8 thousand. But what time frame is that? Today? It must be today, right? So they give it different levels too. This is really interesting. So it's all about top trending accounts. I like using this. A lot of times I use ChatGPT and stuff, and it can just be a little wishy-washy. You know, sometimes ChatGPT will tell me something is really popular, and then like I'll go look and it's not. So I don't know what's about that. Like the live art. The whole reason we did a live art stream was because ChatGPT was giving me all this information about it being like the #1 searched thing in crypto. And although it didn't make a lot of sense to me, I went to the trending and CoinGecko and stuff, and I saw, or Crypto Rank, and I saw that it was there and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, people must be, you know, it was in the 20 most searched projects or whatever category. And so I was like, oh, so people are searching this. Then I did a whole stream on it, and it was like crickets. And I was like, dang, ChatGPT got me again. But anyways, I like that they have this level of like trust. It says significant. This one's just credible. And what are these? This is a good place for us to look as well and find stuff to look at, or that might be next coming up, I guess. So this is Sign. Let's get a full description. They do have like a shortened description to the side. Oh, and I can open it up and look. All right. I like this. I haven't done this yet. So affiliated accounts, Tiffany Wong, if you know, you know. Russ. Don't really know who Russ is. Bybit is still banned in the US, question mark? Probably. I have the Palau ID, so I don't really worry about too many of those things. We've temporarily suspended the checking of accounts with over 200k followers. Why? Why would you do that? The bot doesn't think that they need to check followers when you're over 200k. I like this chart though. They got followers, score, top followers, influencers, projects, VCs even. Oh, you can toggle VCs on. I like this. This is one, this tool, let's call it that. It's something I've been definitely meaning to deep dive into a little bit more. You can get a premium, but it looks like you can get some pretty good info even without the premium. This is app.tweetscout.io. If anybody's interested in looking at it. Let's get the full description on Lighter. because it is super relevant, super high score. Let's toggle that VC and influencers and projects. Why not all of them, to the point where we don't know what we're looking at. So influencers been moving right along with it. Cool. And then when you put your mouse over it, it kind of gives you the analytics. So followers up 6.2%, score 1,112 up 1.7%, top followers, influencers, and VCs 1.1% for a score of 93. I don't really know what that means, but there's some VCs in there for sure. We know that Andreas Horowitz is behind it. So it's good to see that Lighter is trending. When we'll ever be able to get into it, who knows? And with that, guys, I'm probably going to hop off. I think 3 hours is pretty sufficient. I don't feel like I left you guys hanging. Hop in the Discord if you have anything to say between now and the stream tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, so tomorrow, Thursday, we'll be doing another stream. And then Friday, our GameFi stream. I think I'm going to keep that going on Friday. How do you guys feel about the GameFi stream? You could maybe put that in the comments or the Discord. Unfortunately, for some reason, like all the comments disappear once the video's over. So there goes my alarm. Yeah. What else do I want to say here? Thank you. I really just want to say thank you to everybody, man. This has been so much fun to do. And it's like the vision I'm just going to talk for 2 seconds here. I started the channel. I wanted to build a community around deep diving and researching, but I only did pre-recorded videos. And so, I don't know, I thought that would get traction. People would want to watch it. People don't really like watching pre-recorded videos a lot of times. And obviously, a bigger problem was I had no traction, I had no subscribers, nobody knew who I was. So now I might get a little bit better with that. But yeah, and so now it really feels like I have a community. Even with the few people who are here, I greatly appreciate you. I got community, and now it's kind of my vision coming to life where I can deep dive and research and have people to share it with who are like-minded and love crypto. And that's what it's all about. Stay underground, stay crypto. I still need a catchy outro, but I like that one. Stay underground, stay crypto. And have a good night, everybody. And I will catch you in the Discord, or I'll catch you tomorrow, or I'll catch you in the morning on Crypto Lifer stream. Stay blessed. Stay underground. Stay crypto. What's the secret to success? So glad I caught you. Talk to you later, buddy. Chipper, I hope you're in the Discord. Later.